out to me was that closing prices are very important. And this is when I decided, after spending $2,000, I think about $2,500 taking the Andrew Cardwell RSI course, and he had blurry charts. And when I got home, I thought, why doesn't he just put a line chart up so he can look at the RSI and he can see apples compared to apples? And the moment that I put the RSI up here with the closing prices, it was a big aha moment. Another thing it told me is, structurally speaking, and on a time basis, without candlesticks now, candlesticks are a whole nother, there is a candlestick bot you could build. But the momentum, RSI is not just an overbought and oversold indicator. Besides, the guy in the no-nonsense Forex thing is getting in late on the trade anyways. So I'm playing back the market in this template I wrote. And I got bad data here, so it falls off a cliff. We got to get past that bad data. And the nice thing about the RSI index, it'll go into the history books here. I got bad data here. But this only goes between two. Too bad I can't. Here, I guess I could talk about what's on the left side here. But it took forever to load that. That's a 4-hour chart. I was going to try to do 4-hour trade plans. Anyways, that's the slowest playback I ever saw. We'll just go to the 1-hour chart and do it. We'll trade the 1-hour chart. So this is more active trading on the scheme. Here, I'll put up the template. We could see it before the price gets butchered by the playback. So what he's going to describe here is that this 3-period RSI, by the way, not no 14. Ain't no 14, people. So when RSI crosses the 20-yard line, I think that's his criteria. Computer's freaking out. Buying here? No. I mean, okay. As soon as RSI goes below here, it's oversold. Yes, Forex can be overbought and oversold. It's a real market. Stocks can go down through the floor, man. There's no, this guy, you could just die listening to this guy talk about data. Not to mention, these are 24-hour markets, so there's a lot of wacky stuff going on here. Total whack stuff. Okay, let me try to reorganize here. Okay, so we're going to go into the no-nonsense Forex guy's view of RSI. RSI is a pretty deep topic about momentum, really, price over time. But I must say, it cleared a lot of things up for me about just closing prices in general. A line chart really just took me to the most negative trading is the line chart. It's pure time structure. There is no, you can't see the unfair values. You see fair value at the end of the day, at the end of the hour. And it's not going to be, sometimes the market will turn on a dime and you can see a shaved candle there. Of course, if you saw the line chart, you wouldn't know that that's the whole range. So also invisible to you on the line chart is like the pent up, you can kind of see it, it's like it's barely going up, barely going down. And that probably correlates to smallish candles. But smallish is a relative term. Can you trade looking back 3 bars, right? Can you trade with 5 bars? Now in RSI, there is the 2 to 5 period setup. These are very clean, very tight, very explosive. any divergences that happen in 2 periods or 5 periods are very quick and dirty. It's perfect for any market. There is no, it doesn't, this guy's got to be kidding with this stuff. Come on. It's math. It's the momentum of closing prices regardless of market. I bet you could feed it earthquake data and you could see, oh yeah, let's get in here. It's going to, because there's always when something explodes, there is like the explosion, but it's also sucking at the same time. On some level, it's grabbing oxygen or what. It's creating an imbalance. If we're entering on unfair value to trade it back to fair and we get out, and that's the only trade we do, those are simple retracements. Market spikes, but how do we catch a falling knife? Do we catch it with one big rigid arm, or do we catch it with a net, series of nets? Do we net it like fish, or do we go out there hunting fish like a sniper? I mean, if you're trying to catch pips and you're trying to snare a move, and okay, we're going to ride it to here, and then that move's going to stop, and then it's going to happen this, and then that's going to happen, and the ebb and flow of it all. Are you willing to get out when you see that this other people are going to come in? It's like a revolving door. I mean, once you see the pace of the door. Now, granted, some people are going through that. When we were kids, we get that revolving door ramped up so nobody could get near it. It's like a fucking weapon. But, if it's too slow and you got some old person creeping through it, you just want to bitch slap them, right? I mean, the markets are just frustrating because they're not moving. Sometimes. And whether you're long or short, you're just in agony, like you're barely making any money, you're barely losing any money. So to break up the monotony, okay, scalp a little bit, pull the trigger here, open a demo. If you feel compelled to do something, go write a book. Trading doesn't take, if you're swing trading it, like this guy supposedly is, Christ, I mean, you got to think beyond you really got to ask yourself, if closing prices is what RSI is, and it's just an index, it's like the cleanest formula there could possibly be. It's literally, I would say, like air pressure. It's just a gauge. It's a single linear gauge. What is the barometer? What is the pressure of the market? Is it being pressed up or pressed down? Is it taking a breath? Is there a chance to get in? Another thing it tells you is that when it's overbought, or if you get a 2 to 5 period signal, and by that I mean, just like an Elliott wave, zero wave is not counted. You have 0, then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 0 is your 1. You don't count 0. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So a 2-wave pullback, the most explosive wave is going to be wave 3. So in a continuation, or an ABC wave, the C wave. So you would see X, then it goes up, then there's divergence. That is the entry. Or there's a reversal, and that's the entry. Market's down hard, it's overbought at a lower price, the inversion of diversion. Of divergence. The inversion of divergence, okay? Yes, that matters, and it also is happening in a small range. It's very safe to get in there. It's typically a trend continuation entry. And it's time frame dependent, but so are your candlesticks if you're waiting for the Goober entry that he's using, where it's up. He's always going with the Goobers, this guy. It's harebrained. I know it feels good to be on the popular, to be with everybody else. He's claiming RSI. There's more spoken about RSI. Everybody's, RSI this, RSI that, so about. But like I said, somebody mentioned in the comments that this guy has some type of indicator he's selling. There must be, I don't get the motivation. I said, other than to just, like if it's a hoax, like that frog thing,
Here's an actual photo of the RSI indicator. That bucket needs to be a little bigger, though.
Okay, so... Oh, it's just blowing me up with that fucking soundtrack.
And here we are at the RSI.
But this guy stays... This is called branding. When you don't deviate... I guess I'm not too deviating. Deviant. But, you know, look at this guy. God. RSI. Somebody was speaking about how clean this blackboard is. We could use I should probably Photoshop this and republish his video form. I know this is like, it's not even a high-res blackboard. It doesn't even look real. It looks like wood. Wood with dust.
Video. Not too long ago, I made the ATR video, which is the single best indicator you can possibly use.
Yeah, but not on a 14 setting, buddy. Maybe on 3, but ATR, who would fuck with that? That is the range of each individual moment that the market has existed. It's very critical to the next moment. RSI, on the other hand, is a continuum in a narrative of index narrative of price over time.
Make sure you see that video. If you haven't, you're going to want to. But
not spike over time.
I also, before that, made a video called The Dirty Dozen. And we're going to look at that in just a moment. And this is the first item on that Dirty Dozen list that I'm going to go over because indicators-wise, at least, it is the absolute worst. So in this video, I'm going to show you why the RSI is a terrible option for your Forex charts. Now, I understand there are a few different types of people watching this. Either you are already a fan of no-nonsense Forex and you've seen the Dirty Dozen video and you understand why I do what I do, and you are probably never ever going to use the RSI. There are some of you who are just starting out trading for the first time and don't know what to use and are looking for direction. And videos like this are tailor-made just for you. And there are some of you who are using the RSI right now and actually like it. You guys are the ones that I need to talk to the most.
Huh?
Watch this entire video, and at the end of it, if you are still on board with the RSI, I cannot stop you.
Oh my God, really? Well, I kind of don't use it really because I can see in my mind's eye the RSI because I can see closing prices now. For the first time, it revealed to me how important closing prices really are. And that this is what you draw trend lines on. I would never draw a trend line on Wix. That's not a trend line. That's a volatility line. That's another thing I'm really picky about is if you are going to misuse, like, don't tell me RSI doesn't work. Like, you're going to tell me a vice grip doesn't work. Yeah, I stripped all the nuts on my car using a vice grip, which is an adjustable wrench. Because you didn't adjust it? Is it my fault? You know how to use the tool. This coming from some guy that's using MACD, which is the most harebrained bullshit I've ever seen in my life. RSI just puts any other indicator to shame because of the cleanliness of it. It's literally saying, I have a string on you. How far can you move? I have a 3-period string on you. You can go there. You can go there. What's next? Okay. Now, if it's trying to get somewhere, and I haven't even included how you could trade you just trade the RSI, literally the indicator, because it's price. It's you could buy at 30 and sell at 70. And I'll show you how this guy, right out of the gate, fucks it up. Plus, he's not scaling in, so he wouldn't understand why you'd start buying at minus 40 to minus 20 if you were buying because you're claiming you're buying oversold. Okay. I don't even know how this guy got off on this. Why he misinforms people like this. Like, I wouldn't be so pissed off at this guy, but he portrays himself as some, like, I've 10 years in the market, and so therefore, this is so. This is not. This guy's on the borderline of being a flat earther. There, I said it.
End of the day, it is your money. But for the rest of you too,
at the end of the day, it's your money. So if you want to get some hookers and some RSI, knock yourself out. But over here, what we're going to do is we're going to do the Chenkin channel.
A lot of good knowledge in this video, and I'm going to go to my own charts towards the end. Don't fast forward all the way to the end, because it's not going to make a whole lot of sense if you do.
Oh my God, you're kidding. I mean, like, thanks for warning me, buddy. Like, I just wanted to hit the fast forward button because you're so fucking slow about telling me this shit. Like, he must know that he's triggering people, and they're like, don't try to cheat and go to the end. Let me talk to you real slow here now. Let me sit you down. RSI, relative strength, not the strength.
But I'm going to cover quite a bit here. So if you are new to the channel and you have not seen the Dirty Dozen video...
Oh, the Dirty Dozen. Oh, price levels. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Now, CCI. Okay, now let me just say, I know I studied CCI myself. I ended up using closing prices. It is not the default. Closing prices with CCI is an amazing... Okay. If there was a script that you wrote that bought and sold at the market and CCI is below 90, you would just pull the trigger. Now, granted, you could look at the chart, but you could just be a blind moron with CCI. I set mine to 4, so it's an on and off switch. I'm not going for fucking 14 or 20. Why in the fuck would I? I mean, 3-period RSI to me, I could do 2-period. I actually could trade a 2-period RSI. Because I have a trade plan for when it's oversold. And I have a trade plan for when I see a reversal. And I can see, oh boy, this is going to be a motherfucker. If I did use a 14, I'd have to stretch the screen way out. Maybe I'd go 8-period RSI. But I decided, why would I want to soften anything up? I want to go for the 3-period RSI. But now that I kind of know what it looks like, when I see closing prices, I can imagine what it looks like. I can almost say, this is a reversal. I don't have to have it at the bottom of the screen anymore because it's such a clean indicator that it's like Bollinger Bands would be hard to kind of estimate, but I bet Bollinger Bands are scrunching up about now. And you get out the Bollinger Band chart and you're like, yeah, see, I was right. Okay, but how is that helping you get around the risk, the fear of losing? Or the fear of not getting an exact optimal trade entry? And this chart patterns he's saying suck. Dude, what do you think? Candlesticks. Like I said, if you have a trade plan for candlesticks, yes, you could have a trade plan for Fibonacci, but let's face it, there's a fib within the fib. So if you're going to scale in, Fibonacci is going to keep you out of a amazing trade. But, you know, hey, you're not, if it like this guy says, hey, look you're not going to risk anything. Look at, you know, better, you should just sit down and have a seat. Chris Hansen trading. Have a seat. Why'd you come here tonight? To trade moving averages? I agree. Moving average crossover system, unless it's the one crossing the 2, I don't see the point. Like, I ain't going for no lag here. Although he has a baseline, which is a moving average. He's crossing over it. Okay, each one of these, I'm sure stochastics, if I had set really fast, I could trade that. If you put a gun to my head, I could do it. Trend lines I could do all day long. That's the easiest thing in the world is trend lines. But just don't do them on the wicks because it's not going to make no sense. You have to, for me, it wouldn't make sense. And ADX, complete garbage. I looked at ADX years ago. I'm like, that's bullshit. At least when RSI is engaged and the market's going down, RSI is going down with it. And the momentum starts to die. What could possibly happen to the down? So you're gauging the loss of momentum. You can draw a trend line on RSI. Now you are in front of the market now. It's the leading indicator. As soon as RSI breaks the trend line, then price breaks. And these are valid entries. Right, I could do a 5-period RSI. You'd see, depending on how you scrunch the data, there's going to become a delta in momentum on RSI, just like price. They're amazing entries. They're low-risk entries. But this guy glossed over it, and he's going with the most generic, broad-based goober approach to RSI. And granted, if I took your wrench set and just miscued it to the wrong nuts, and I stripped all the nuts, and I said, so much for your German car. What a piece of shit. Well, yeah, dude, I just used the wrong fucking gauge. Sorry about your guitar, snapped the neck. Put those big hairy strings on here. I don't understand. It just broke. Gee.
So here is the list. These are 12 of the top tools that I can guarantee you, if you're actively trading Forex right now and if you have not seen one of my videos before, that
I have to say Fibonacci, completely useless for me, only because, like I say, I buy vacuums. I don't buy a precise retracement level. The Fibonacci is that's harebrained. That you're going down the Gartley Highway. That's the one on here I'd have to say absolutely not. Everything else, or I'm sorry, ADX and Fibonacci for me. And I guess unless you have Bollinger Bands super tight, oh boy. Like I said, when it comes down to it, can't you just look at the fucking prices? Just have closing prices, which RSI is closing prices. CCI even said the close takes into account the high and low somehow because it doesn't respond like RSI is the cleanest fucking thing out there. Trend lines and RSI, those two, and price levels. That's all you need. What level are we at? What do we have momentum wise? And what is do we have a triangle? Can we draw our first trend line? Our first time the market has turned. Not a moving average. These are constantly adapting manually. You're plotting the market. Another thing Cardwell did, which, in other words, he did everything by hand, so he could tell you if RSI 14, if he said a 62.1, it was 62.3, we're higher, we're in a reversal, we're getting in. Like he literally can see that RSI is smaller, the price is higher, and he does a whole count, a series count, and we should be here by there. And he just nails it. When I saw the guy the first time, he had people huddled around. He was the only guy out of about 30 people that was dead silent. The Bollinger Band guy was there. All these people were there. This guy, overhead projector, he's on the thing, and everybody's dead silent. They're like, fuck what this guy's talking about. Now, he did not talk about entries because they said, well, dude, how do you get in there? He goes, well, you can set a limit. Then he said, you're going to have to go golfing, and nothing you do is going to change that trade. Nothing. You could stare at it all day long. The setup's there. As soon as RSI is more oversold and the price is higher, you're getting the fuck in. That's a trend trade. Now, I didn't see that. All I knew was the divergence. But look up a positive negative reversal by Constance Brown, Andrew Cardwell. Empowered Trading calls it something like a hidden divergence. But that's not true. Hidden divergence is actually super compressed divergence at the end of RSI's move. But if you are going to do range rules at the 14 period classic, Cardwell, when he gets to 1460, in other words, he's slicing it so thin in there that if you did take RSI and force it to only plot 60, you have to set the settings on it. It's not even going to show the other side. In other words, it's not going to show 80 because it ain't going there. If you crop it and stretch it, on a 14 period RSI, you will see the setups perfectly, but you can't really see. It's all mush. Anyways. But another problem is that the best chart is the line dot for RSI because if you're going to actually strictly count the periods and say this is a 5 period, this is an amazing fucking entry, which is either wave 2 or wave 4. It'd be a wave 4 on the 15, but it's going to look like wave 2 or a B wave if you're from Elliott wave.
You are using at least one of these. And in that video, which I will link below so you can see it later, I gave a little 30 second to 45-second blurb on every one of these, showing
What's a
people
blurb? Somebody look that up.
how faulty and outdated and ridiculous these tools.
They're faulty, outdated, ridiculous. Okay, that's not true. Because I could build a MA crossover system. I got a cloud system like that. It's really moving average histogram of a 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's a guy out there that sent me a chart how he's making money on it. Yeah, if you wait for the cloud trade, the perfect setup on the 4-period moving average. I'm not going to say the crossover, but I'm going to say if we buy into a 5-period or a 3-period moving average on the daily or the 4-hour, in a low, we get a doji and we're at the moving average. That's a clean entry. That simple system there, yes, but then maybe time frame wise, there's an amazing setup on the 4-period moving average on the weekly. Of course, it's come back to the moving average even. It's a standard deviation. I mean, it's fair value. We're going to get in before the big crush into the zones, into the void. Still have to be aware of structure and reality, which is price levels on here, but I think the price voids are more critical than the price levels. But, this is when people come up with pivot theory. They look way back on the chart, but those prices left don't matter to the market, I don't think, because all that matters is like, what's the high of the week? What's the low of the week? That's why they had the 52-week high in the stock. That's why turtle traders make money, because they just keep buying new highs. They buy high, sell higher. But if you are going to get in on market maker style, where you're buying the stops off the goobers, then of course you still have to get the sizing right and the frequency. If you're going to buy and sell spikes, then you're going to trade on limits typically, and you don't have to be around for that trade. But if you are going to execute at the market, then you got to be around to pull the trigger on that. So you could place limits, but if you can at least look at the chart once a day, there's amazing setups in the daily RSI that are mind-blowing. And you're just like, that's a mind-blowing entry. And of course, we have to ignore the wicks on RSI. And people would say, well, that's why it sucks, because if I put my stop in after my entry, see how they stop 100 me? Right, but you're trading kind of with super wide stops with RSI because you're literally trend trader. Or you're a swing trader, and you would have to trade with wide stops. It's not a breakout strategy because it's the end. These are market orders because it's the end of the time frame that matters. At the end of the day, do I have a trader doing on RSI? Or are you going to start building a position in an oversold level? And yeah, granted, it could keep going oversold, but hopefully you've got a strategy for the dojis. So when the market does go sideways, you can invoke the breakout strategies in concert with your market order strategies and your limit strategies. Those 3 strategies or 3 techniques or tactics. And people say, what's your strategy? Well, it's multiple, because I couldn't live just off of a moving average crossover system. As beautiful as it looks sometimes, when the market goes choppy, it's a train wreck and you're totally screwed. And then all this stuff, and then at that point, Fibonacci makes sense. If Fibonacci was laid in and you had 10 fib levels, and I put an order on each one, and my exit's going to be 618 with a 3-point. In other words, also people are misusing Fibonacci in a way, because if you're going to have a 30, you risk 38% of your account to make 62%, right? Or you're going to make the 168. You're going to put a 62 pip stop, and you're trying to make 162 pips. 161, 106.18. So if you're using Fibonacci as a risk ratio tool, that's completely different. And that's what people are supposedly doing with it, because they're saying, well, if a deep pullback like this, and this is why the harebrained shit that ICT says about, well, I have a 72, my fib is a little deeper. Oh, wow, genius. But how big are you getting in that ticket? Where's your first exit? How long are you holding it? The reality of life is that every moment's unique from here on to the end of till they blow up the world with all this stupidity. And then this guy here God knows what he's doing. I mean, how does this guy even make it to the YouTube? And what does it say about people? I didn't subscribe to the guy, but I am really going on about him. But 80,000 fucking people signed up for this guy. There must be a lot of people that just casually broke open some stochastics one day and lost $10 million in Forex. And they're kind of like, God, I better go check out the no-nonsense guy because I must be just full of nonsense with stochastics.
Are
like, who are his customers? Just people like, yeah, I heard about this Forex thing. I'm going to investigate that. What do you think, Hank? Our Forex thing is this a scam?
I also said in that video that I would go back and make an individual video on every single one of these.
Oh.
And it is the RSI's turn. And I wanted to start here because out of pure indicators, in terms of Google searches that these get, Googling RSI or Relative Strength Index will yield you more Google searches than anything else on this entire list when it comes to pure indicators. And I want to kind of keep the indicators train going here. So if you didn't see the Dirty Dozen video already, here is what I said about the RSI. So first off, it was created in 1978. Spot Forex trading, as you and I know it, wasn't even really around until 1996.
So now this is so hilarious. This is the funniest thing I've ever fucking heard in my life, bar none. I don't even care if it's RSI. You mean to tell me that because you created a math equation to index an instrument that's moving up and down, like this is like saying the guy that invented the decibel meter, because of when he invented it, the decibels don't exist? You got to be kidding me, man. This is insane.
And this thing was created almost 20 years before it, and it was created for stock trading.
It was created for stock. Dude, we didn't have Forex then. It was created for stock trading. You mean like for markets? I mean for movement? Oh my God. I think stocks are more dangerous than gap. What the fuck? Forex is 24 hours. Still, RSI has never performed better. Are you kidding me?
Does not operate the same way Forex does, mainly because in stock trading, things can actually be overbought and oversold.
Okay, need I refer to the chart? Let me see if I can find any overbought and oversold areas on RSI here. So I'm going to zoom out. This is a 1 hour chart. Now let me see here. If wicks didn't matter, let's imagine a world of wicks don't matter. I have RSI at 3 and I marked off the 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 level just to try to give myself horizontal attachment points. And this is kind of complicated in a way, but I'll just walk through the chart here, see what I see that just jumps out at me. I'm going to say, would I be willing to sell above 70 in RSI without even looking at the prices? On the way to 70, as soon as we go above 70, I start selling. And I've also got sell limits up on a retest of RSI here. So anything above this, let's say, I'm going to sell, right? And I might sell quite a bit there, actually, with a wider stop because it is overbought. How's this guy talking about? What is he saying? How can he say that these markets aren't overbought and oversold? I mean, that's insane, man. How does he come up with that? Is this oversold in the middle of the day? Now, here's a reversal. Now, this takes a while to see, and there was a guy I was trying to explain this to, the millionaire guy. He couldn't get this forever. He goes, explain that to me again. Okay. We have a triple bottom here. We have a little, actually, divergence that kind of kicks it off. I got a break of the trend line, comes back and retests that. There's a lot of reasons why you would get in here in Asia. We got divergence coming in, right? The whole day was a sell-off. This was oversold, we bought. It was overbought, we sold. Oversold, we bought, right? Bottom became a top. This is the first time I saw a top become a bottom. Was RSI was what took me there. It pointed out so vividly that I couldn't deny it. I could not deny that this top became a bottom right here. Right in closing prices at the 10-yard line, top becomes a bottom. And we don't quite revisit the apex of this triangle before it breaks out. But what breaks out before the trend line here is the trend line here. So breakout, pull back, you would enter here in confirmation before we start breaking. This is why if you draw a trend line at Wicks, you're too late. It already broke here on momentum, right? It broke, it crashed out. Broke through there. There's a triangle here. There's divergence. A lot of compression. We know there's a vacuum here, but we see if we go anything below 50, okay, if you look closely here, you'll see, well, okay, you have to look very closely. Let me fix this scale. This is another reason why Cardwell is successful with RSI, is that he drills down mathematically. I'm going to drill down visually. If I fix the scale, this will enlighten. We have to make the price look as brutal as RSI looks to really see into the magic of RSI. And how I would trade it if I wasn't just trading auction theory, which is just as valid an entry system on limits. But on closing prices, granted, RSI is a lot of fun. It's fun. A lot of work here on the 1 hour chart though, but if you compare this price to here, this is more oversold at a slightly higher price. We're about to kick off because this reversal, okay, here's your last. Let me just try to do this blow by blow. Oh man, I can never get a good color for this. So we get a decent reversal here. And this would be, if this is 0, this is going to be 1, 2, 3 period reversal. Because the bars are there, I can see that it's a 3, right, so here's 0 here. 1, 2, 3 period reversal. Very powerful, although, even though it kind of wicks back there, but if you actually sold here at the market, you did almost make your target, which would have been take these two numbers and add it to this number here. We didn't make that. We're also failing to make our reversal targets. This might be too complicated. Here's another reversal, see? Right there. More overbought, lower price, another sell. But here's where people go, well, see, RSI is wrong. Yeah, but you're not going to get... How many reversals are you going to get? So here's one reversal. This is a very long-legged reversal. It's also oversold. Here's a failed reversal. 2 period here. Doesn't quite keep going up. Because see, it's by having an order bank in here in this 10 pip window makes more money than RSI. Yes, but if you're trading at the market, which you kind of have to, like here I'm buying. Why am I buying here right now in RSI? Because it just pulled back. I got a top, bottom in RSI. We've got divergence. Hopefully I bought because we were oversold here. Let me go to real time now. Because now that it's playing back. Let me try to guess the next trade here. Using RSI as confirmation, really. I mean, it's not so bad. This is a beautiful 2 period. We kind of have a little divergence kickoff and then a failure. And then finally we get this beautiful divergence underneath the auction floor. And just a nice clean, just buy that at the market, man. No questions asked. That is a market trade. Because your limits would have filled naturally if you're buying new lows. You're in already in that trade for a different reason than the guy that buys momentum. Look at this divergence just before the collapse. Look at that. Oof. Divergence here, and then severe. We got a bottom become a top in price, and we haven't even left the station yet. I don't know if you can see that, but this is such a severe divergence here. Triple top, and just curling over, and just this would have been a reversal, but notice it's more oversold than here, but the price is lower. It's going with it. I would have bought this last hour, but I also have trailing buy limits running. Don't forget, I'm doing the 3 entry techniques. I have buy limits to be the stop hunter. I am the market maker with buy limits. I bought at the end of the market. I bought any down bar. Anytime it's oversold, I'm buying. Right? If it's oversold, I bought. I bought. Then I sold. Then I bought. So if you look back on the chart, of course, if you run 2% of your account, you're going to blow it up. But if you have trade plans for each bar, did you have a trade plan to sell this 5 pip window up here on a limit? You know you got filled, but the spread could have been slightly wide there. It came within 10 pips of the infamous 100 pip yard line. This is like years ago. This chart here is like 5 years ago. This is 116 on the euro. So this is a long time ago. But same stuff holds true. People are getting the hell out here, and it's oversold. But do you think that that's going down? Now, another thing, are you really going to sell here the whole world? Well, you might sell for the scalp because we've made it all the way back to the floor there. So that you cannot be unaware of the auction theory just because you're running RSI. And yes, it could come stop hunting. This is another window people are going to scalp out of. This is also the trailing protection here. And finally, they stop out the goober bot here. So the goobers went short here. Also, the severe divergence in RSI. How is that not just the most stunning? Here's another kind of, without kind of stretching it. See this reversal here where we start to go more overbought and price is slightly lower by like 1 pip. This is that sideways drift stuff before the collapse. That's another thing to consider. Also, look at RSI here. Look how it behaves compared to price. So here you can see the interaction. I'm going to speed this up. So watch this on the big runs. It's really fascinating to watch it unfold. Just get these objects off of here. So I'm playing back the 3-period RSI here. Now as I look back on the chart, I see there's no divergence here that caused this move. This is the dead cat bounce. It's oversold. And granted, you could have bought that, but it doesn't mean you can hold on because of this plunge. This is what he's probably saying is that and he's actually buying here. He's not buying oversold. He's buying on the way up as it crosses over, right? So he's getting trapped. Look at this thing bounce off the 100-yard line, back and forth and up and down and back and forth. So I would have bought here at the market, and I have limits trailing, so I'm long. I want to cash out into here. Here's where I start selling now. RSI above here is going to be I could claim I'm selling RSI overbought. In actuality, maybe I'm getting filled in limits here. It's kind of funny. People are getting it for different reasons. This is going to be a big deal. So looking back, this is the big void left behind, and we've kind of rejecting this. I'm going to run buy limits here, though, all week long now. I want to scalp into this to the 100-yard line, trying to take 10 pips off of that. Nothing from RSI here. I think I'm on the fastest playback. So sorry to bore you, but RSI, I know it very well. It just clued me on the price, really. Oh, here we go. See how the reversal's forming right now in real time? See how it's getting more oversold, but the price is higher? That's because of where the market's been. There's a reversal forming right now. At the end of this hour, boom, you just bought at the market because you just got the criteria. It doesn't mean it's going to keep going. We have a reversal on close. Now, if it closes down again, I can make the argument that I have an order here and I'm going to buy a top, become a bottom. You're just looking for excuses to get in the market. Plus, look at the stop limit hunt. I got filled on a limit. I have a top becoming a bottom. RSI has a reversal. See, That is a 0, 1, 2, 3 period reversal. That is a Cardwell entry. Now I start selling. I'm going to cash out in the wicks. I just sold something on that wick. That is a 3-hour window of rooftop. People are getting out. Look at it pull back. It's just, if you watch the market, how it behaves. Oh, when I just got divergence, right? Would you sell that? Okay, maybe you did. Right there, divergence on 3 period. But this may be too impending, this looming vacuum, and there's a vacuum back here we left behind. So we're running limits here. We have sell exits here. And we belong at the market. So it's overbought, and here's where this guy's going to say, well, so you're selling overbought here. Okay, but you know what? At the end of the hour, there's if it pulls back off of that, then it's just saying if you didn't take something off along the way, then you have no money management skills. Right? And I just got filled in a sell limit here, but maybe some other goober just sold at the market. It's overbought. Right? But you got to be aware of this as a possible destination for price. That's highly probable. So you can't ignore reality. Now look at how it gets more oversold here and the price is hovering. So what's happening here is that RSI is saying we're in an uptrend. It is overbought, and this is where people get clobbered because they keep selling overbought into this. Not to say that you did not make money on that last overbought because it pulled back, but it didn't pull all the way down here. It didn't go for the Jana Forex target. No shit, Sherlock. But that's why this divergence here really wasn't enough. That was also, divergence is also the overbought point. Now it's going very overbought. But if you're long from here, how do you calculate your target from that? It's well past that target. It's taking the highest close within these two. So as it cocks the gun, takes a breath here and then collapses. Now, I think it's really what's going on here is pure auction. Yeah, if you're going to nail the sell button here as we go up, maybe you are going to scalp something off of that. We knew we were going to sell. We knew that most people were happy to get this double bottom, and then we see a reaction there. We sold into that. We're sold around. Now we scalp something off, hopefully here. Take more off the table. Now we come in with buy limits. As RSI gets more over sold here, what you're going to say is if RSI closes underneath this window and price is higher, also that's the place where you attach your trend line. So what you're trying to do is get in while the setup's forming right here. Plus they just stop hunted the 1 hour goobers, and you hopefully picked up some of their tickets there for a scalp. And you really didn't get a nice reversal here. Slightly. See how that's more oversold just by a little bit, right? That's the only breath the market's taking. So the breath is the reversal. It's very, very, also you should draw a trend line off that, right? Now you got a very steep trend line, very hard to maintain. Yes, this could come unwrapped. But yeah, it's no divergence yet. Still getting reversals there. And when the market keeps going up, you'll get reversal after reversal, and you can kind of plan on them. And every reversal is going to be when we get deeper than this, right? So every time we go, instead of using the overbought and oversold, we're looking at this hole, because that means that as long as price is above, now it's more oversold at a higher price. See, it's coming deeper in, right? So right there's, that is a reversal from here now. What it just put in is a reversal from here. And now, even though, see how oversold it is? That's a buying opportunity because, and look, it's coming into this top. At the end of the hour, it's a buying opportunity. Don't forget, you have to wait for the end of the hour, because I'm getting filled on limits there, right? My limits just got filled. Just naturally here, but it just closed down. That is a signal. We get in. This is a reversal from here. That's the new trend line. Now, the trend gets old, and eventually, there's no divergence causing this sell-off, so to speak, on closing. 1 hour chart. But like I said, the technique of buying at limits here and saying, well, RSI is more oversold at a higher price. I've got a long-legged reversal. On the 4-hour chart, it probably looks exquisite, like a 2 to 5 period. But here, because I'm on the 1-hour chart, yes, the longer-legged signals are going to be those are going to be great. This is nice and tight, sharp. Then a reversal, and then I guess you could say there's 2 reversals here, because once you dip below here, there's a structure entry, top becomes a bottom. Here's the stop hunt. Now we sell because it is, well, we hopefully cashed out in that seller window there. But once again, hopefully you're taking something off the table on the way up there. There's 1-hour chart too. Don't forget. So this is a lot of rinse and repeat. If RSI can get below here and still maintain this is the launching pad for the first reversal, right? So you're building this giant wedge here. Plus you have a trend line here you're hoping you can break. If you're still holding this thing, and maybe you got on this little mini stop hunt here. Oh, no, they didn't stop hunt anybody. Look at this. So the goobers are running their trailing sell stops to protect their longs now. So we have pressure building up here. We're going to sell just because it's above here all the way. And if they sweep this thing, it should be pretty hairy. Our first kind of retest of the overbought here, we would sell at the end of the hour. And now they're going to shear those rooftops there. We're selling into this for the scalp, and then we're going to sell at the market if it's overbought, just to prove the overbought and oversold thing does work. Let me chase the market here a little bit. So keeping this RSI here, and we can see how it progresses. We start getting, if we keep getting reversals, you just keep buying. And this is how we can trend trade it, by saying, and actually the divergence may be a place to take profits, but here we just got our first divergence there. Do you see that? It's very faint, but a little bit nonetheless there. Now if we violate this on the way down, but price does not take this out, right? This is our new baseline, so to speak. Let me get rid of some of these objects. I guess that's going to screw up the... it's bad enough this robot's drawing objects in here, but... So a little divergence here, which should give us a reversal signal. In other words, we do expect a sell-off there. We could have sold overbought there. Don't forget, we could have sold there and scalped it. But the fact that you're going to sit back and let it go forever, and just because... You can't do that with anything, really. Maybe you're still holding from this entry signal back here. So you're still holding. Targets are up here now. Look at how once we sheared this off, did you see how far that pulled back? So if you're going to be limit to limit guy, trap to trap, couple market orders, try not to trade on stops. Just try not to be a goober. Try not to do stop entry if you can avoid it. Try to keep your whole thing in this market maker thing, because this is going to be set it and forget it trading, where the stops you have to keep on tightening them, and you're trading at the market at that point. You have to be there to hug the market with your tight stops. So this market could keep going up and up and up, and you would still get signals from RSI. You would never... It looks like... I call it the transverse index, because if you start to look at it like this, that is the bull kind of trend line to break. This is the bears, you know. The bears are drawing trend lines like this going, oh yeah, she's going to break. Now they did make some money on that. And here's their top become a bottom, right? Oh, now it's getting, wow. So we got a divergence here. And that could give us a buying opportunity. But look at how the sellers just cleaned up, selling that kind of a triple divergence, really. I'm going to call that a triple divergence on the 3 period. Look at that. Just hold that to the end of the hour and out. Look at that. They're cashing out right there. Comes all the stop hunters. You just hunted your stop, son. Oh my God. Shit, we were long from back here. What the fuck did we get out up here? God damn it. Surely you can imagine anybody that's back tested's going, this is like the dumbest fucking strategy. Although what I'm saying is still structurally dependent. I don't think you could live off of just RSI. You really have to figure that, yeah, they came and hunted that guy's stop. They did that. He had an alarm system, but yeah, they raped his wife and everything. And of course, this view of RSI gives you the true kind of like, wow, yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'm not stupid. Oversold, got killed, overbought, got killed, overbought, got killed. But you can see stocks that keep on nailing it on the 1 hour chart, really. But what if I did sell? And I did sell, and I sold here and here and here, and then they finally, like, this one was like, oh, you know what? I'm only a little bit underwater. This one's a winner. This one's a winner. So really, you can't even. Oh, look at this thing go ripping now. I think we just got barely a hint of a signal out of that. Just barely. That's why I'm kind of want to use the 2-period RSI. But look at this retest down here. It is oversold. It's still below. This whole thing's still taking place below. This is Cardwell's view. It's all happening below here. Right, so this is still the launching pad. But look at that thing rip back. Jesus Christ. That's why you kind of like gotta take profits every now and then. I would recommend taking something off the table. Look at this thing rip back. Look at RSI. Oh my God. Not really going as down as hard as you would think. Wow, look at that raid. Oof. Looks like they're going to crush it now. No, there's nothing quite like RSI, honestly. Look at that. We just got filled on some buy limits. So this is my view. There are people that sold here. All the auctioneers, they sold this window, then they bought this window, then they bought this, and they're going to sell above that. And they cashed out to here, half their position. They're just like, this is the most fun. And they got buy limits down here now. So easy. Not really, because you'd have to hand place that to actually be like that, but I don't do that. I just put in orders that are like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 6 hour, all week. So I just load all this shit up. Now they just broke out, trapped the breakout traders, watch them rip it back. Oh, we got to take off those guys. Oof. They got trapped. Bye-bye. Sorry, breakout trader. So you can see how that one trade plan, that one entry, even if I had the holy grail system, if I'm going to do a goober confirmation, see how they just, and if I stop here now, like, just ask yourself, as you're watching this thing, am I up for that kind of punishment? Hey, look at you, were right after all. Oh, no, you're wrong. Uh-oh, you got trapped twice. Damn it, when does this get easier? Of course, don't forget we're going sideways now. RSI is going sideways. I'm saying we're going to fill this hole. So if RSI goes oversold, I'll buy. Otherwise, you know what? I'm long by default here. I still think I can't go to the 4 hour, but I still think we're in an uptrend. I don't see any divergence. I don't see any reversals. But it is wild to watch the RSI. See, here's the view. Watch how the math's being done here, because, okay, now it's overbought. We should sell. Well, last time I did that, I got clobbered. Well, in a way, if you held through the next 5 hours, right? And what could possibly happen in the next 5 hours? Oh, they trapped a lot of goobers on that breakout. Yikes. Now they're going to rip it back. Here comes the low risk, the first low risk bars. Very small. Pressure's building up here for a big run. Try to shear off these guys. We're still trying to back plunge. So I'm going to buy in limits here now. I'm going to buy at the market if we get a reversal. Almost got where we're more oversold than here. It's still at a higher price. So we're looking for that pullback where it is more oversold at a higher price. This guy keeps talking about how to enter a pullback. Well, how you do it is that it's dramatically oversold, but the price is higher. You can draw a trend line. This is the quintessential ultimate setup. For everybody, because everybody's in on that trade. The breakout traders are in, the trend traders are in. Typically, you're cutting new, fresh territory in an up or down. In a trend, you are cutting fresh territory. There's no way around it. Because you must be. If you're consistently going up, you're making history. You're making a whole new wake. Oh, look at that pullback. So here we see more oversold at a higher price. Our first reversal, you would have had to nail that. You're looking for the RSI to get below here. Your first criteria for a reversal there. Here, let me draw it up. Kind of long-legged, but it's there nonetheless. Like, you kind of got to give it a break on the 1 hour chart. So yes, you would have nailed at the market, but don't forget, once again, you have to be the market maker and put your buy limits in here. No fill there. That's why if you are going to trade at the market in combination with your limits, you're going to get in a fatter position. And you would have just bought because it's oversold in an uptrend. And ideally, you would buy oversold in an uptrend and sell overbought in a downtrend. And that's the filter people typically do with RSI. They'll say, the 4 hour chart's trends down. Let's go on the 1 hour and look for overbought. But you can't bet the ranch on any one trade. Here we can see the sellers cleaned house. They sold that lonely wick. And we back and forth. So it's a 10 pip game. This thing can go for a big run, but if you loaded the wagon down here, you were looking for that 20 pip move maybe. And now we're looking to crush this window. Are you willing to sell up here? Well, I'm going to sell everything up here, most of it up here. And on the way, I could say, well, what I'll do is I'll put some scalps in here. But if they go freight trading through here, which every one of these windows I expect to pull back off of. So I'd have to put my orders right here. I just drag them over and drop them here. So they queue up to that. So I would sell. As you see this horizontal line come across, we can see it touch this wick. See how it responds to that. Scalpers are having their fun there in the 1 hour. And now, if I'm not in the market, I will get in a trailing buy limits here. And I'll buy it. Every time it's down at the market, I will faithfully buy. I'm not going to buy this because it's I'm chasing it. I expect some serious chicanery up here. If I'm still holding long, I am just waiting to cash out. And I have to take something off the table right now. Boom. I expected to pull back off of that. And we're selling at the end of the hour also. It's very overbought. Okay, we sold at the market. It's overbought. We're short on limits. Now we have to white knuckle into that. To me, it's a white knuckle ride because now we could just go up 50 pips clean. I don't know what's to the left of us. Okay, I can kind of see the left now here. This would be insane if we made it to here and we could just shear right into that. So because of all the pent-up demand here, look at RSI pullback. So here's where we're seeing the entry in RSI. RSI, if it could ever get below this, we'd have an insane entry and we'd just nail it. If we get below here, while price is above this, right? So it's always the next setup. You're trading. I wouldn't look back here, although you can see that this kind of transverse thing where you see these connected tops, triangle breakout, it's oversold, it's overbought. Now you can see this big reversal here. See, it's more overbought, price is slightly lower or even, right? It's just a real eye-opener. If RSI pokes under here, we're just going to buy it at the end of the hour. Plus, we have a top become a bottom, no questions asked. We buy. It's oversold. It's into that window. This is our box. As long as price does not take this out or this out, we will buy. Because if it closes below this, okay, wait, where did it close at? I gotta hurry up and get back to the chart here. So if you're gonna do it blow by blow as it's unfolding here, you're watching this critical window of this price. It can't go lower than here on close. But see, that's your reversal. You see how it closed lower? Price is higher. This is 0. I think that might be a 5-period reversal. So 2 to 5 is a lot of money. Let me resize this to get the whole. I want to get the count right here. So what you do is this. As soon as it moves up, this is X. You start counting from here. So you have X 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a classic 5-period positive reversal. More oversold, higher price. You take these two numbers, you find the highest close within, and you connect and bring that forward 5 bars. That is your target. It was nailed. That is RSI. That is what RSI does the best. Look at how it overshoots the runway. Now we're getting divergence, right? You got to fix. No, not anymore. But see, I just knew it. Look at. I tell you, did I not tell you this was going to rip through that window? Okay, you can watch this. It just proves that vacuums matter. Look how hard it rips to that floor and bounces off. Do you see how fast that fucking move was? And what was the thing that preceded that? The reversal. Why? Because this is like a fake sell-off in a way. It's selling off really hard, but the price isn't going down. Severe loss in momentum. And you're going to tell me that RSI doesn't work because you sold overbought here and it went and ripped your face off. Because you sold overbought. You kept selling overbought. Right, but you got to realize that you're trading at the market on that criteria. But if you don't see this hidden, if you don't see this kind of momentum vacuum here, where we backfill, kind of stop hunt the RSI, we have a top become a bottom in closing prices. It's your idyllic setup. It's really, I mean, this Cardwell guy, he'd put on, at the end of the day, I'm talking end of the day, end of the week trades in commodities, real margin calls. He put those trades on in insane confidence. See, this is what started this run. This 2-period, 5-period reversal, 4-period reversal there. Top become a bottom, it keeps marching up. But yeah, when it gets to this double bottom, this hourly chart, don't forget, a lot of shit going on. Look at this thing coming back to this top. If RSI goes below here now, we'll have a triple reversal. RSI is more oversold, and it's holding this trend line now. And look at how hard that sell-off is. Maybe you just got filled on limits. Don't forget, your limit order should be here. This is the deep discount basement window. And here you're going to martingale in super heavy. I'm talking to myself here. Do not take my advice. You're going to buy so much here. And then you have to dump here now. You bought maybe at the end of because it's down 30 pips almost in 1 hour you bought. But let's just hope we sold into that. And we're short because okay, this is what you got to hope is that if you just trade one currency, you should be able to do this. That you sold so much here at the structure level that you're reaping the benefit of that. You can jump on the RSI train. Now I sound like the fucking no nonsense. You can go on the RSI train, but you got to make sure the structures are proper. Maybe I should do like this is RSI Prep House. I'm not sure that's his real voice. Does he go to McDonald's order window like that? Oh, I'd like to order I know it's a very popular thing, but I'll have the large fry. You don't want to be one of the popular kids, do you? Okay, so, but look at the oversold guy finally made money, say. He didn't do so good here, but look here, he cleaned up. He even got, well, ain't no divergence there, but on the 2 period there would be divergence. And I can already tell you on the 2 period there probably is divergence here. But they ain't getting real whipshawed. But look at this other thing. Let's not forget that these markets have heated up lately. And this day could be all wackadoodle. So if your trade plan's looking for this kind of smooth, like, oh, look at it melt down. And here's kind of a reversal. Not quite because you're connecting these, but first chance to get long near, kind of your first reversal, really. And you got a top become a bottom, and this is the floor. And oh God, I think people are probably selling just because it went up. Now here's where it's just range traders heaven. You just buy, sell, buy, sell. Now here's where you have maybe the 20 pip stop running, or the 10 instead of the 8 and the 5. You can run these 8 and 5 stops. I kind of blasted this one guy talking about the 3 pip stop, but there are times when you can run a 3 pip stop and a 5 pip stop, but he was running out of British pound. I thought he was being ridiculous. I don't know. I guess if you've got a zero spread. But at this point, if you bought this, I'd probably get the hell out. Now I'm going to sell in limits up here. So I keep changing my tactics based on what's going on. I'll sell in limits up here. I got time for this shit. And if I see it close up here, maybe I'll sell at the market if it closes up. I got buy limits down here now. Keep running, trying to get something out in front of where you think it's going, and then you got like, what are we doing now? And do we even want to be on the 1 hour chart? Let's face it. It's a cluster. It's a mess. It's a clusterfuck here. So, oh, look at it. It's going for new highs. So they just filled my sell limits. I'm selling for the next 50 pips. No RSI trade there. Let me go back to his, let that thing play into the future. Go back to his 1978. That was a very good year. Traded for stocks. Created to find reversal and price. Okay, what it was created for, I mean, I don't know, was a barometer created to do the weather? I guess.
But in Forex, that's not the case. Watch my reversals video. I'll link that one down below too. Stocks actually have intrinsic value. They can buy.
Okay, well, I think the currency pair, currency may have intrinsic value. And even if it doesn't, if you want to see a market, a pure market, go look at Bitcoin. Dude, that no intrinsic value there other than, I guess, real estate. You have a place in a ledger.
By definition, be overbought or oversold. Currency pairs can go as high or low as they want until a government entity actually steps in and does something about it. But that can happen 3,000.
Okay, but somebody could step in and halt trading on a stock. Somebody could decide Enron's a piece of shit. Are you kidding me? There's the exchange that could decide, you know what? You don't qualify. Forex is over-the-counter trading, so is penny stocks. That's why they look the same. Somebody could decide that company is fraudulent. What is this guy talking about? It's just like not only does he cherry pick the chart, he just filters reality to such a degree to fit his narrative. This is like if CNN was going to teach you how to trade, this would where you would come for trading, I think.
5,000 pips.
Fake view of charts.
Down the road. So just by how old this thing is, what it was actually created for, old this thing is, what it was actually 3,000 to 5,000 pips down the road.
5,000 pips down the road. Well, look at this Tesla with this. Probably going to get. I looked at Tesla on the chart. Looks like they're going to bitch slap Tesla. And you could say fundamentally the car's a piece of shit or something. And some guy was saying I should learn to code Android. I know. I should really. I'm just okay. I had an Android smartphone, Marshmallow or something. Dude, I had it down. I got the new one. It swipes 5 ways to Tuesday. It just doesn't swipe right. It swipes up and down. Oh my God.
So just by how old this thing is, what it was actually created for, which was not Forex, and what it is trying to do, you can just stop here. And many people saw this and said, okay, yeah, I'm not using this anymore. That's all the information I need.
Oddly enough, Andrew Cardwell says you should use a 20-period RSI for Forex. And I'm like, he's kidding, right? It's funny. Like, so the guy that invented something and then he doesn't use it himself.
All the evidence I need. But some of you are going to be a little bit of a tougher sell. So let's go ahead and move on. Now, what I really want to know, and the people who use the RSI right now are the people I'm talking to, why do you use it?
Well, I originally used it because, like I say, it made sense to buy over. Well, at least to put if you had a trend, you'd buy overbought and sell oversold in a trend. So you're actually You're actually getting in against. It's a perfect pullback indicator. But then when I discovered there was a deeper picture, then of course, but.
Already know the reasons why, and we're going to go over those reasons one by one, and I'm going to try to dispel them one by one to see if I can talk you off this ledge. First off,
I wasn't on a ledge, but
probably use it because it's very easy to use, and I agree, it is. For those of you who are brand new to Forex trading and don't know how to use the RSI, it goes something like this. Now, there are a couple different ways to use it, but the way almost everybody who uses this indicator will act.
No, that's true. Everybody who uses it, and the people in the comments here, I doubt I'll see Cardwell's name and I'll have to look through it.
Actually use it for is they're going to wait until this line gets down into, I'm using air quotes, oversold territory. And then they wait until the line comes back up across the 30. You set your levels at 7.
So if you're going to wait for it to come back over the 30, then you got a problem. And it's not smooth like this, by the way. RSI is very sharp. It turns on a dime. I mean, this is like stochastic. What he's showing you is like stochastics. It's not like this. So another CNN move.
70 and 30. When this line gets back across the 30, that is a signal for you to go long, because it is confirming what they think is a reversal. And so then conversely, if the line were to ever get up into this overbought territory above 70.
And the word reversal is kind of weird. I think he means reversal for a retracement, because, come on.
You would wait.
I don't know what this guy's talking about.
For it to come back down, and once it does, that will give you a short entry. Real simple, super easy to use, I agree. But this...
No, I think you have to sell up here, and here's where this guy is just never going to get it. When it's up here, you got to sell. When it's up here, you got to sell. When it goes below 30, you're like, I'm a buyer. I'm buying for certain here. And I'm not going to buy here and chase it. It's already on the way up. How does this guy even have that idea?
This point will come into play later. All right, let's keep going. Why else?
It's like he wants to make all these indicators. That's what it must be. I think that guy's onto something. He's trying to make every indicator look like a piece of shit because he's trying to sell an indicator.
Why you use it? Well, it's extremely popular. You see a lot of people on Twitter and on different websites and even on YouTube using the RSI. And you figure, well, if this many people are using it, I should probably be using it too. Who doesn't want to be popular? Who doesn't want to follow the crowd? These people seem like they know what they're doing. And again, between RSI indicator and relative
I always look at these parties and say, yeah, I mean, if these people are taking selfies with an RSI, yeah, I do think that we could have a problem.
strength index, this thing gets about 25,000
Could you pose with my RSI?
searches on Google every single month. If you didn't know any better, and
Oh, because there's 1,000 searches. Okay, well, because there people are searching porn, all of a sudden porn's invalid.
when you first started out, you didn't know any better, you would think, well, this is the way to go.
What is a search for porn?
Now, fans of No Nonsense Forex are already screaming the answer at you. If you're popular, you're done, because you are now part of that 99%.
God, we go with this 99% thing again. Please explain that to me. Because you drive a car. I know, but I'm not. I got a sidecar. Got a German car.
That
It's a motorcycle with a sidecar. Nobody's driving that.
number is low. When I say low, it's probably closer to 100% than it is 99%. 99% of Forex traders who either lose money, break even, or never quite make enough money.
It's not why you're winning and losing money. It's because you've either oversized the position, you've overtraded, you don't understand what's going on structurally, you don't know how to work around your impatience by either placing pendings or reserving the trigger pulls for extreme moves that you'd say, oh, this is obvious what I should do here. You don't have at least 5 different or 3 different techniques or 5 different trade plans or 5 different pip risk levels where you could have a 20, 40, 60, 80 pip trade plans. You've got this, you got that. It's like you're so flexible that you don't have this need to lean on a indicator signal. The word signal right there is so silly. You're waiting for every room to be on fire in your house. Well, we got confirmation the whole house is on fire. I mean, really, the first smoke detector that goes off, aren't you like, okay, well, we're just cooking some food. I mean, there's got to be some judgment call, but also this guy's an all or nothing thinker. You can tell. It's like, we're either going to take that trade or we're not. Like, we're not going to compromise. We're not going to, if you get it, we're not going to slightly get in. We're either getting in or we're not getting in, goddammit.
Money to get where they can
No
actually
scaling in and out here. Although he does say about scaling out, scaling in, I think this is where the boring facts of life are, that you don't just, find somebody at the coffee shop and then marry them and start making babies that day in the afternoon. There's some type of, okay, let me get used to this idea.
distance themselves from their regular job and start doing this for a living, which is what most people, almost everybody I've talked to that actually trades, ultimately want to do. And if you are doing the things in Forex that are popular, this is where you are going to end up.
Listen, momentum exists whether you like it or not. I'm sorry you don't like the idea that it exists, that volatility exists, and this guy's a big proponent of volume. Listen, that's all after the fact stuff. The only thing that matters is, because you're not going to play stops based on volume. Maybe this guy is. And he probably smooths out his volume, for God's sakes. I mean, typically volume is not smooth. It's per bar.
Because another video I've made, probably the most important video I've made up to this point, the Big Banks video. Big banks
say the Big Bang Theory. The big banks. Here we go.
The popular kids. They find out
the big banks eat the popular kids. Now, I did hear once when I was going to these reading books and talking, taking all the seminars. Like I said, I spent $20,000 on trading education. And at least I'm glad I got in books, mind-blowing books. They'd say stuff like, and this made sense, that the big fish eat the little fish. But, a lot of these metaphors just don't work in Forex or markets, because no big bank's going to fucking come after your lousy little fucking tickets, okay? The market's just moving. Whether you participate in it or not is your choice.
where the popular money is going, and they take it. They move by moving price the other way. It's
if they're not moving the other way if you're on the right side of the market. I think this comes from the idea that big money, this guy must be just some flaming liberal. There's no other explanation. It's crept into this view of reality. Why would the banks?
Really, really simple. If you don't understand what I'm saying, please go watch this video after you're done. I'm going to link that one.
I think I did.
Below too. But just know this, so many people use the RSI, and if it is giving so many people a long signal, for example, you have become a huge blip on the big bank's radar.
Now, some guy in the comments said what most people would say, and this is a recent comment, out of 100 comments on this video, that, well, why not just fade the fucking RSI? Look at 22,000 views, 41 thumbs down. I'd have to get a thumbs down too. So, yeah, why just trade against it? Clean up. Be a big bank. That's what Cardwell's doing. It's overbought. He's buying reversals when it's overbought. Range rules. 14 period RSI. Anything above 60 is in an uptrend. Anything below 40 is in a downtrend. Looking for reversals. But if you have a 3 period RSI and you're at 60 on 14 and RSI is below 20, buy. Because you're in an uptrend. I'm not looking at I'm not using 14 period RSI for my overbought and oversold. That's a trend. That's RSI range rules trend, and I mean range rules is the inversion of overbought and oversold. It can be overbought for ages. There's no such thing as overbought and oversold. Bill Williams has said there's no such thing as overbought and oversold. But there is on a 3 period RSI because it's slamming back and forth, right? It's oscillating. Better to call it an oscillator. Oversold makes it sound like they could never keep going down. That's another reason why. But the banks don't have RSI up on the screen going, look at the goobers, they're probably buying this oversold. Let's sell it some more.
And that is giving them permission to take price the other way whenever they
got permission. Oh, yes. So they're waiting for RSI. We're going to fade the goobers. Watch this, guys.
want.
How does this view of reality even come up that, well, the big banks, they need permission now? I thought they were the big boys. We got to get permission still from the RSI guys.
They might give you a win here and there just to keep you in.
We'll give you a little win here and there. That oversold worked for a dead cat bounce, but we're just going to keep on punishing you.
In the game, we'll talk about that in a bit too.
Watch this RSI, guys.
But this is not stock trading. This is not the herd mentality. The mechanic.
No, there's no fucking trends or herd mentality in Forex. Yeah. How about, do I have to bring up the dollar-yen chart? Really? Don't make me bring up the dollar-yen chart, which I bought into when I first trading Forex and blew up many an account, nano account out of Texas, blew it up severely because dollar-yen went down for 40 4-hour candles. I'll never forget it. Now, if I would have taken the doji entrance approach, I could have fucking made so much money non-directional trading even because that thing just kept churning. I could have turtle traded that. Could you turtle trade everything? I guess if you really got the best spread and the best market, you showed up on time and you just kept diligently plugging away on the 4-hour chart and everything. Yeah, it's a lot of work. You could do it. It's all work. Ain't no fucking, oh, I got a fib here on this Agartly. We're going to go all in on this one. Watch this, Mildred. You ever seen anybody trade Forex like this? We ain't using no The bank's got a beat on your RSI, son. I can see the fucking dot. See the red dot? See it right on there?
Mechanics of this market move.
One of those sovereign guys got pulled over and he goes, I don't see no red dot.
The exact opposite. You do not want to be popular at all. And if you are doing anything that would make it so, that would make...
Because you know what? Those nails that stick up get hammered down. You don't want to be one of those popular nails that's sticking up ready to be hammered down.
You that way. You need to change right away.
No, I mean, you don't want to be the exception.
Things like that Big Banks video will explain further. Because I know when I first tell people this, it's kind of hard to believe.
It's not only hard to believe, it's utterly impossible that the banks can see my stops and my tickets, okay?
So another reason you use...
I guess that's why people pick that fucking commitment to traders reports. We're going to trade against the goobers. Watch this. I want to be a big bank too. Can we fade the goobers?
Is you were shown from the start. This is a big one, and I have major problems with Forex education and the way it teaches people.
Oh, fuck. I got the very first technical analysis book by so-and-so and so-and-so. And that was the Bible. And I met the guy at the seminar, 1992 or something. 1998, I think I went to my first tag meeting. Met Andrew Cardwell there, and then I showed him the gold chart before the gold market left $275 an ounce and went all the way to $1,900 an ounce. I printed it out on a big plotting paper. I was so proud because I was a student. And I even went down to New Orleans for $700, I think, and watched him with about 25 people, or not, about 10 people in the room. And when he went to the bathroom, he said, you know what? He goes, listen, you ask me a question while I'm not taking a leak, please. I mean, people were like, what the fuck about this? And he's like, dude, you got to leave me alone, man. I got to be, I'll be back to you in a minute. But yeah. Southern guy, laid back, kind of like Bill Williams too. Southern, laid back. I met Bill Williams, and I must say, these are personalities. These are kind of like, it's going to be okay. You're going to be fine. Have a seat.
From the
that makes a big difference too, because they really are like, yeah, I know it's risky. What's your next problem? Also, I sat down and had lunch with Tom Basso when I was at the Van Tharp thing, and you know, I thought this guy, him and his wife traded silver and crude oil, and he made so much money in silver, and then he traded crude oil, and he actually was in a long position when Desert Storm happened and crude spiked up to $40. It was like limit up 2 days in a row. He wrote it back down, blew up his account, and actually his lesson was volatility matters. And then he trades just for like 2% on a giant fund now. So I had lunch with him, and I thought, wow. I was like, it's just a guy he decided he was never going to get into giant positions and have the volatility make him rich and make him broke. Like, I mean, he was so rich from a silver trade, and I think he spun it off into the crude oil trade, and then he just got annihilated in crude. And I think he might have got hurt in silver too. I'm not sure if he was in both at the same time. And he makes a ton of money. And I said, well, people are asking, what's the secret? And he said, space. Now, this is kind of like a Zen moment. He goes, well, you need a lot of space. Yeah. People are like, what do you mean? He goes, well, my office is like, I don't know, 5,000 square feet with one desk. And he gets a client on the phone who's all freaked out, you know, about the trade. And he walks around and paces while he talks to the client. He says, yeah, as long as I get that space to walk in, I goes, it can really calm down. This is all about mindset. It's all about mindset. How do you feel about being underwater? How do you feel about being in a trend trade? How do you feel about it? So how do you feel? And are you going to pull the plug on your algo because of your fear? Or are you going to pull your limits because you're like, holy shit, I know I should get in here at this zone, but my God, when they spike it up so fucking hard, well, maybe you don't want to be there to watch it happen because it is like if I place a 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour limit in the market, I just go back to sleep. I'm like, you know what? They're going to fill it or they're not going to fill it. And I'll wake up in 3 hours. So I don't usually sleep for 8 hours straight. I can't anyways, but I'll wake up every 3 hours or 4 hours and go, you know what the market's doing here? Let's see what's going on. Okay. Yeah. Looks like they're going to tank. I'll throw some limits in. I don't want to babysit the entry and try to get the best entry. Fuck that. We got a doji here. It's retracing. Okay, let's add a little bit. And once you can see where the market's going to go to, and you know where you're at structurally, and you know there's still more room to go. But at some point, the pace of the market isn't going to match your expectation, and this is going to be the battle between... Okay, so I was hanging out with these trend traders. Yes, I didn't complete that, but I just go to the trend trading. This is what it is. And I started to trend trade with these guys, and I was just buying pullbacks. Every time it was oversold, they just, well, I can see your argument for uptrend. We're making new highs. I just buy in dips. Now, this is the classic, the most crude classic trading system on the planet is buy in dips. When the dip becomes a new plunge, now what? You're fucked. If you don't have any money management rules, yeah, you're fucked. But, yeah, we all have to start somewhere. And you know what? Candlesticks exist now, and it's kind of hard to unring the bell in your head on candlesticks. I've been able to look at a line chart with the bars behind it as the backdrop for the range. I have range and close. When I look at a candlestick chart, I'm triggered to think about like a candle bot, you know. I can think of I can think very binary about a candlestick. It's there are a lot of info there. Whereas in the line chart, I do need to go back maybe 5 bars to find the last known top. The closing prices, all I need to know from a price pulse standpoint. If it's up, I know I probably want to be selling something possibly. On some level. For some, maybe if I sell every hour and I get a 15-minute scalp out of it, or I get a whole retracement, and there is a scalp built into the whole retracement, where am I at in the big picture? How far did it move? Do I have a trade plan for a 100-pip move in 1 hour? Yeah, when the news comes out and I don't have a trade plan for that, I don't trade it. So unless I could nail that, but what if I had orders spaced 20 pips apart for the next 300 pips that last for the next week? And I can't wait till they fucking hit that shit and then pulls back and I can scalp out of some of it. And now I can just, now that I've padded the account with the obvious trades, I can come back and fine tune it. Trade the market a little bit, trade shallow limits that last a short period of time, right? So it's like a real business. We don't know if the traffic's going to be, what if all of a sudden, there's an auction and the currency pair goes on sale. It's oversold, so to speak. Is it a good deal? Right? I mean, but this guy obviously doesn't talk about the fine details of RSI, but this emphasis on if it's popular, then you don't want to use it is just so silly. Like, I mean, wheels are popular. Is anybody using a wheel lately?
Start. And that's a big reason why videos like this exist. People have said, hey, you should put up your own training course. And I don't want to do that. I would rather wait for you to go get your training somewhere else and say, okay, now that you've learned this, here's what you...
Well, why doesn't he just give us a training course? Why doesn't he just show us how he trades? Why doesn't he just show us some of his trades, how they were so amazing, how he avoided this and that because he did this and that? Because he doesn't have to. He works at some prop firm and he's probably got some stupid algo. He gets paid by the hour just to show up and execute trades, you know. Maybe this is some ego hobby of his. You know, this is my ego hobby, is to bitch about all these dumb fucks. When I mean, I know what comes on emotionally when, for me, when the market is not it doesn't see the things that I think it should be responding to, and it always costs more and takes longer than you think. So a lot of these things that you're never going to be able to avoid the unfulfillment of getting into early. It may be the best trade on the planet and turn out to be a great trade, but even that first scale in order that you kind of assume is, okay, I'm gonna nibble on this thing. It's probably going lower, but let me get in a little bit here, just so I can relieve myself of that anxiety. And your subconscious doesn't realize whether that's a standard lot or a nano lot. The comfort of, I guess, having ice cream in your refrigerator. Now, I usually don't stock it because I'll just eat it. I force myself to go out and buy it, so it's a little bit of work. Because I could just eat ice cream till I died, I think, honestly. But, so same thing with overtrading. I mean, if you have a button that says buy and sell at the market and you're on the 5-minute chart and you start selling every 5-minute rally and buying every 5-minute dip, naturally, with a wide spread, that could be brutal. Now, with a tight spread and the right rhythm method, right? With the right rhythm, and if you're good at that, why deny that that's what you're good at? And are you really going to run an ATR 14 on a 1-minute chart and try to build an algo? Maybe on the daily chart, right? You got all these screens up. You got 24 currency pairs. You're like, you know what? This isn't getting ripe here. I'm like, just set up. And even that, RSI is going to be brilliant, although there will be the stop hunt. Once you break out of these triangles, it's vicious. There's a video I think I posted called, some guy just totally described calls it the rogue bank thing, but really what it is a search for liquidity at the apex of a triangle. It spikes and then it finally rips the other way. So it kind of looks like a fake breakout to people, but this is all what people are putting on top of the data and claiming that this happened there and the smart money did this. And I think what they mean by smart money is the proper entry technique of buying the dip. That's smart money, right? If we buy the dips, a good trade, smart money. But to think that the banks are looking at the time frame that you're looking at and they can see your tickets is just harebrained.
You should actually do. But when you were first taught Forex from the start, it was super exciting because you learned all these little...
Now, what was super exciting is trading on high leverage on many brokers going, holy shit, look at this trade.
Tools and indicators. And I guarantee you...
Now, that was just too much. I couldn't stop. If the world blew up and I could still trade, I think I'd be happy.
No matter who taught you, every example they gave you worked like a charm.
A charm. Yeah, just like the ones you show us, the cherry pick factor.
View that perfect entry every time, which is super, super unrealistic. You learn that the hard way as soon as you get out there and start trading yourself. But the RSI, because it is so easy to use and easy to read, told you that...
Well, I don't know. I think it's just easy to pull a button. Oh, man, God. But this guy must have really got burned trading RSI. I don't even know how it came across that RSI. You know, they call him the RSI guy. His nickname is the RSI guy. He's on YouTube. Talks like a southern accent. But, you know, a lot of people just aren't ready for that kind of super dry approach where he explains it. I wouldn't take his course. I mean, I took his course, but what I got from it wasn't just the RSI. It was to, meet the guy and see, how does this guy think about stuff? And, his confidence in what he sees in it, it's just second nature to him. So I wasn't going to do what he does, which he uses a 45 period moving average and 9 period moving average on an RSI of 14, which I thought was MACD-ish, and I just said no. No, RSI 3 period. That works for me. And he does do a smooth RSI, which really makes the reversals pop out. A simple 3 period on top of an RSI. I couldn't even get it to run in MetaTrader. And I just, you know what? I'm going to clean this up real quick. 3 period RSI. I'm ready to go. Because I could see the reversals, which I wouldn't see on the, I'd have to stretch the chart to see them on the 14. And I just thought, it ain't going to change anything. I can see it's in an uptrend. I don't need range rules. In other words, I just peeled a lot of that off. I took the essence of RSI, which is a 3 period, and I just said, yeah, I get it. I get what he's going after. And I get that he actually added paper onto his chart on soybeans, him and his assistant. He had this hot chick with him. I don't know if it was his wife, but they were charting soybeans, and it went off the chart literally because he does his charts by hand, and they had to take masking tape and add on to it, and it just kept going up. And RSI just kept on going up and giving more and more buy signals, and these go on for a long time, some of these trends. I think Forex is just a market just like Bitcoin, just like a stock, just like any of this stuff. Penny stocks are over the counter. So is Forex. And the stocks are not in the exchanges. They're specialists. It's a very calm thing. Yeah, that's smooth data. There's not a lot of crazy shit going on. And if they halt trading and the gap opens, yeah, you know what? Boeing fell out of bed, and then their planes started crashing, and then a lot of these stuff, they get a contract here. There's all sorts of wackadoodle stuff. You can get totally annihilated in penny stocks. Come on. That's over the counter.
With the least amount of effort, all I have to do is put this on my chart, and every time it gives me a signal, just take it. It's super easy. And that is a reason why
you should just take it. Come on. What's so uptight about, man?
So many people still use it and put it on their charts. But did you ever once question the people that were showing you how to trade? You probably didn't. Here's some dirty little secrets about anybody who's associated with Forex education at the beginner level. Most of them don't actually trade. If people are in the Forex...
Well, that's true. They might trade, and they might trade on demos. Yeah, maybe they don't trade, but how do we know you trade? Where's your trades, buddy?
Industry, and they are making money by being instructors, by being news reporters.
It doesn't mean that what they're instructing is bad, though, either. So let's not throw the baby out with the abortion there. So we got there are stuff that and of course, people that actually do trade, it's a different personality. People that trade, they're not afraid of trading. Let's hope.
Whatever they do, most of them...
A good heart surgeon shouldn't be shaking as he cuts you open.
Don't actually have to trade anymore. Believe me, if they did, if they had to rely on the money they actually made by...
I think about a guy like that, the guy that shorted the market, the guy that does this weekend update thing. I can't remember his name. I don't think he trades anymore. He made so much money on that sell that there's a lot of people that hire traders to trade under them, and they just go, oh, here, go do this. And you can see why that's an advantage. You've got a bunch of money. You give people your trade plans, and they're probably more disciplined than you are of carrying them out. So, like I said, you could have an on and off switch like a CCI indicator. Goes minus 100, plus 100, minus 100. It just tells somebody, listen, here's the cloud, here's that, pull the trigger. And while you're sleeping, they're trading it, and they're probably out trading you because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Whereas if you've ever made and lost a lot of money in the market, you might be shy about trading again, right? And I think psychology has got to be 80%, 90% of it, because the person you hand a turnkey system, and you're aware of the pips, right? You're not going to hand them the scripts that go with a loud market, a highly volatile market, a quiet market. You say, here's the Asian scripts, here's this, pull out of this bank, here run these during Asia, run these during London, here. You see this, do that. And they'd be like, did what you said I got in there. Whereas you might go, I don't know. I kind of see a bunch of other stuff in here. And you see too much, right? Nobody wants to see sausage being made. Maybe they do. So that's another psychological consideration. And it's hard once you see it to unsee it, you know. Plus the feelings that you have about swing trading and having to endure losses. And then the market, 80% of the market's chop, so are you good at trading chop, you know?
By trading, they wouldn't be using hardly any of the things they were going to show you because they would lose. But I'm telling you, you right now...
Well, I don't know about that because a lot of people can analyze it, but they're afraid to pull the trigger. So they're very good. The best analysts can't trade. I mean, I was like that because it cost so much money to trade when I started that I thought, damn, I better be right about this. And so that's why I kind of get all pissed off about these Holy Grail people because you don't need that anymore. If you could trade online and pull the trigger here for just pennies of risk per ticket, granted it adds up, but there isn't this fear of like, I better be right about this one trade. Now you can trade like 100 trades instead of 20 in a row. You can trade 50 trades in a row and be like, fuck, I'm only up. I've run systems here and posted demos where I've traded real time the whole week. My win rate's 48%, and I made 10 grand, and I lost 2 grand. Yeah, ratios are incredible. They keep stop hunting me, but I don't care. I laugh. I laugh at the bankers coming after me and taking a beat on me with a red dot on my forehead.
Could just take all the things you learned when you first learned how to trade Forex, repackage them, and put them under your own name and put it out there and make money.
That is true. People do take the classic, it's overbought, here, get in here, and you see a lot of that shit. You do see people just that they don't have fucking clue. And they trade them a little bit themselves, maybe. They putz around, but they're not like trying to perform. It's like a guy that's singing karaoke at the bar, right? He may be a good singer, but he didn't get his own band. He's not in for the long run. He's not a total believer.
People would buy it, especially if you're good at marketing, because people just don't know any better. They're not going to question your ability to trade yourself. They just want to learn. And showing them things, dumb things like the RSI and Fibonacci and stuff like that, and especially if you only show them...
Yeah, Fibonacci is kind of tough for risk ratios. RSI, I don't know, man. I like it. I got to play in the background here.
Examples that work, well, you're going to get them on your side every time. This is a problem. Also, most of these people don't even know about other indicators. They know about what's on the Dirty Dozen and maybe 2 or 3 other tools they can put on their chart, and their knowledge stops there. Most traders' knowledge stops there. There are thousands of indicators and tools that you can put on your Forex chart at any given time. Most people only know about 15 to 20 maximum. I am blown away by this. Never once did these people stop and say, you know what, I just keep losing. These indicators are terrible. Maybe there is another way. I did that, and over time I had tested thousands of indicators on all different time frames, on all different currency pairs, to get to the ones I use now. And guess what, guys? There are indicators that were actually developed by Forex traders in this century for the purpose of Forex trading, which is the opposite of everything you saw on that Dirty...
Now this is hysterical. These are designed for Forex.
Dozen video. But did any of these...
All you have is data. How is the data any different?
Instructors ever have the gall to show it to you? No, because they didn't know either. They showed you the RSI, and that's why you're...
The gall. You got a lot of gall showing me that fucking Ranko shit.
Losing. And I've alluded to this already, the worst thing about it is, and this isn't just in education, this is everywhere. This is all over Twitter, for one. And I'm not the type...
God, I don't get Twitter. I don't get Twitter much since I can't look at ICT's site anymore. He banned me from even looking at his stuff. It's so cute. Yeah, Bitcoin's going to 100. As it slams to 8,000, it's going to 100.
To talk shit to people on Twitter, but you really, really want to when you see things like this because it just irks people like me. When you first saw the examples they showed
you irk people like me.
You thought to yourself, wow, look at how well this works. It must work every time. What you didn't know is that they selected the perfect currency pair on the perfect time frame at that one perfect moment in time where this indicator worked really, really well.
Well, I really didn't do that here. Now, I can show you there's no signals coming up on my RSI on every bar. I could almost make the reversal argument here. I'm gonna call double bottom at a higher price. Almost a reversal. We connect the target off of the top of the highest close between these two lines is our target. Now we're getting severe reversals. We're going to buy this pullback if it is above this, right? It needs to be above this price. I will buy that oversold. I just got filled on a limit on top of here. Now I got limits all the way down here in case I'm wrong. And now I am up on that trade. That is a reversal that just happened on the 1 hour chart. It's a midday, it's a sell-off here where it is Asian session. It does not breach it. It is more oversold at a higher price. Granted, it is past the 5-period ideal entry. Now we're getting severe divergence. We will sell that at the market at the end of the hour if we didn't get enough sell limits filled here. Severe divergence right there. Right? Look at that thing. My God. How brutal is that? We're probably cutting into some fresh territory, getting some divergence here off of this. That was the big signal. Here, kind of, but this was a nice topic on the bottom. A lot of sellers up there. We just sold at the market at the end of the hour. A max playback speed. Boom. Plus we're short on limits right here in the scalp window. Okay, we're short. Now we're going to take profits. Here's my first target. And then we're going to buy limits down here. Let's go back to no nonsense here. So.
And shit like that drives me crazy. And the funniest part about when they do it with the RSI is if you actually look at it on some of these examples, it still doesn't work. I'll show you. This is great. I don't know who did this or where this is from, but this is a clear example of you being lazy and thinking this thing works when it actually doesn't. So here's the overbought side of things, and then there's 2 different times it gave you a signal to go short, and price did eventually go short. Over here, 2 different times.
Okay, this guy's just lying. I mean, he's retarded. Or this is another reason why you do want to do a line chart in RSI. The line chart looks like this. All right, this is the line chart in RSI. And that's probably 14 period. That's divergence. Here's your first divergence. It's almost it's a triple divergence, really. How could you enter that? Well, you could run trailing sell stops, or you could just sell at the market. I recommend, because it's RSI. Here is the buy triple reversals here. More of a sold at a slightly higher price. See, it's very subtle, very nuanced. There's your reversal. This is probably some kind of reversal here. I can't tell. There's not enough data. Because this is a 14-period RSI, we don't really see any. Here's your sell, right? I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, this is X bar. This is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-period reversal with a doji. This is more overbought at a lower price. Right, RSI, I can't draw down there, but right? See the RSI. And so this is a classic entry. No divergence here at the bottom, but we could have bought here and made money. And we could have bought here. We have a top become a bottom in RSI. I can't draw down there, but if you can see it. Just like we have a bottom become a top here in RSI. Here's a bottom become a top in RSI. Because when you run a 14 period RSI, you are able to do like structured trades on RSI like this. You're selling the rally into the bottom, see? If this was a line chart, this bottom, I probably don't say bottom right. It sounds awkward. They say bottom over there. Okay, this is the doji here, right? This rally here, what's causing the RSI to respond like that? It goes down, then it goes up. This bottom is not becoming it's not a top in RSI. It blows through. I mean, not in price, it blows through it, but it is in RSI. Which means the momentum is already starting to fall apart. It's the leading indicator. RSI is a leading indicator of what's to come. Because it's taking a breath. This bottom becomes a top, but in price, it doesn't. It cuts back through to that. It retests that without regard to the trap that's forming there. Then this is support. And another thing is that I can't draw down there at the bottom. I have to move this up. Wait, let me move this up. Lose a little bit of price, but oh, jeez, kind of hard to. So what he's doing is taking a dumb shit approach to it. That he's going to sell when this thing crosses down. Confirmation entry, and I don't know why this thing is arrows there. His late entry is not helping his algorithm or his profits. Crossing over there down, so he's going to sell there. Then he's going to buy here when it crosses over, and he's going, we're getting slammed, it's crazy. We do finally get, not really divergence, but kind of here we get the failure. Here we break the trend line. Finally, we break the trend line, pull back, and nothing really here. It's a 14 period RSI. Actually, I'm not sure if that is. This looks awfully smoothed out. Could be here, but I think there should be. These are baby pullbacks. We should see a little notch in the RSI. We don't. So I'm a little suspicious of this drawing. I don't know where he got this fucking data. He doesn't know either, apparently.
You could have gone long, and price eventually went long. But let's look at this more closely. So your first signal to go short is here, all right? Right here. Now I'm using a mouse, so I'm going to go as straight up as I can. So that signal was on this candle right here. Now the very next candle shot upward. This candle took out a lot of people's stop losses. And after it closed, a lot of people probably looked at that because that's an engulfing candle, which for
now this guy claims 10 years of studying the market. At some point, it may never occur to this guy that maybe he should be selling on limits up here and hunting the people's stops that he claims the banks are staring at this 14 period RSI and they're fading you with that. Maybe you should have a sell limit up there where you think all the goobers have their stops. Boy, I don't know. It's maybe.
For a lot of people is a sign that price is going the other way. And they said, yeah, it's time to exit and move on. Now, if you weren't one of those people, that's fine. If you would have said, okay, my stop loss would have actually been up here or maybe even up here, okay, I'll go with that. But for a lot of people, they exited right after this candle. And then
how does he know a lot of people did that? Because they're the popular people. They're 99% of the people getting stopped out of that trade there, son.
Indicator itself.
How do we explain this thing? So what he should be saying, which I'm surprised his criticism is not what I suspect is obvious criticism of RSI is that you can tell me all day long, even if this was on the 3-period RSI, I guarantee this is probably a setup where it's more oversold at a higher price than this, and this became the signal that let's say that this candle was here. What do you do about that wick? RSI is not talking about that wick. It's not that does no math on the wick. So that is not his criticism.
Moved back into that overbought territory with this candle right here. So now your beloved indicator is telling you that this thing...
Beloved indicator. I'm so in love with this indicator. But Cardwell would say it's in an uptrend. If it was above 60, it's in an uptrend, and it is. And you could buy pullbacks here. I don't see a reversal in there though, because it's a 14 period, something like that. It's too smooth.
Is back into overbought territory. So are you going to go short at this point? No. You've just been given another reason to exit. So let's say you did not exit and you're still in this trade. Okay. So it goes down a little bit back to where you bought it, went back up, and then you finally get this down candle here. Now, if you're honestly sitting there saying, well, this would have hit my take profit mark, I will say probably not. If you really are somebody who had their stop loss this high, your take profit level was probably somewhere down here, if not lower. So I will call bullshit on that. And then price went back up again, and then down and back up again.
So he's picking apart the money management on this, where you can see on his video, you can call bullshit because he'll have trades that are like insane, and you're like, okay, but dude, you really are telling me you would have held through that whole move, right? Like this big down. What I can't believe he's not saying is that if you sold up there, look how far that came. He's claiming bullshit like well, it's kind of choppy before it rolls over, but what about his stupid fucking indicator? He's got all sorts of like, well, you write it down here and
if you are one of the very, very few people who are still in this trade, and believe you
me, there's very few people in that trade, really.
Me, if you are a sane-minded, disciplined trader,
another thing we can do here on our side that he's not doing is draw trend lines, but he doesn't believe in trend lines. We're going to draw a trend line that starts down here, and we break the trend line. Wow. Right? Time to go down. Divergence. Break the trend line. We're in before. We get in early. Also, we're getting in when it's up. This is a rally. We sell rallies. We sell above 70. It's overbought here. We don't wait for it to turn down. See, what he does is he puts on the trade after the confirmation went down, but you're getting trapped in a little auction here. No, you got to sell here. And this would have been a reversal on RSI, and I've seen it show up here. If this was a 14 period, we have a lower price. We would be more overbought on at least a 5 or an 8 period RSI, but not the 14. This is your first reversal. After divergence, we look for reversals. We see divergence. What's the first reversal? It would have been this if we would have had a faster than a 14. More overbought at a lower price. And that kicks the whole thing off. And then it just goes down. No reversal here because this price is higher. It's not lower. This is the only other reversal left. He just doesn't get it. He doesn't know how to use it.
You would have been out of this trade a long time ago. But if for some reason you're a lunatic and you stayed in it...
You fucking lunatic. Would you be trading like that getting in your top?
You would have actually reaped the rewards to a point and rode it on the way down. So good for you if that was the case. I don't like your chances going forward if that's the type of trader you are.
Oh,
but just understand
God.
that most people would have been
That's
out
the
a
type
long
of trader
time ago
you
and
are.
not...
What are you, some kind of range trader, reversal trader, is you? So we don't take kindly to that kind of trader here. We are trained traders. Now get this through your thick fucking skull. Can't you see? How do you think I ended up with almost 80,000 subscribers? You think by being a dumbass goober? Fuck no. By telling people RSI indicator is one of the worst Forex indicators you could possibly use. I mean, it's worse than fucking, you know what I'm saying? It's worse than that. I was just going to say something really inappropriate. But I held back. I have self-discipline.
Have made any money from this move here, because especially when this thing was doing a whole bunch of nothing, this indicator.
I like how he's the impatience is coming out. Like you can see what he wants. It's going doing a whole lot of nothing. Dude, the subtlety, if you had a line chart here, it would tell quite a brilliant story of what's really going on here. Plus, we also see this is a auction within an auction. We have this buying here. We try to engulf, trap here. Everything above here, there's some guy, and don't forget, there's the guy that's just sold up here going, I bet they're going to come after this wick. And what I'll do is, I'm going to buy right there, see? I'm going to buy right there. So the dead cat bounce. And you don't have to know about RSI. And I'll buy here. I'm just going to buy new lows. And then I get in on like a doji trade here. Why can't I do that? Well, I could sell up here. Yes, I get the fact that RSI, you don't need it to make money. But they are good market orders. They're a good place to get in a distribution phase up here and go, oh yeah. Yeah, I think it's a little overbought up here. I think it's a little oversold down here. You know what we could do? We could sell up here. We could buy it back down here. We could swing trade it. I just don't think your chances are very good going forward, though. Why not? Well, you got to find the right cherry pick.
See indicators going down.
You got to cherry pick the right time frame.
And price going nowhere. That's yet another sign to exit. All right. So
that's actually the entry signal. Did you hear that? He totally misses it.
When this thing was doing a whole bunch of nothing, this indicator was going down. Usually when people see indicators going down and price going nowhere, that's yet another sign to exit. All right.
To exit your short position? No, that is a fucking setup right there. What is he talking about? Is he talking about selling? This guy, he completely is confused.
A long time ago. But if for some reason you're a lunatic and you stayed in it, you would have actually reaped the rewards to a point and rode it
to a point. Pretty good point.
Way down. So good for you if that was the case. I don't like your chances going forward if that's the type of trader you are. But just understand that most people would have been out a long time ago and not have made any money from this move here. Because especially when this thing was doing a whole bunch of nothing, this indicator was going down. Usually when people see indicators going down and price going nowhere, that's yet another sign.
It's called divergence. This price is going down and this is going sideways, which is kind of like it's making new highs and this is going down, but the breadth of it is not quite that way where this is making new highs. But the fact that this is going down, this is a leading indicator. This is leading. This is momentum. It's like pushing a string. The market is pushing this string. It's an index of closing prices. So in a way, it's an index of a moving average of closing prices. If you can imagine that the actual close is the trend without smoothing, this is the histogram. This is the index of closing prices. It's just it's so powerful, so clean. And once you draw trend lines on it, get an 8 period, 5 period, they're amazing setups. They're just, if you're going to trade 25 currency pairs, all you need is RSI in a wallet, really.
To exit. All right. So let's go look at the more ridiculous example, which are these two longs right here.
This is my first time through this, so bear with me.
Here. Let's start with this one. This one gave you a long entry on this candle right here. And then what immediately happened after that? These two
Okay. Now he's also doing this. Oh, we're crossing over to go up. Okay. You would have bought here, and maybe you got a dead cat bounce out of that. And then you would have bought the next oversold, and then you made money, and the next oversold, and you made money. Yeah, you're not going to win every trade. Okay, I got it.
two huge short candles. Nobody was left in this trade. If you're the type
What do you mean nobody was left in that trade? How tight a stop are you getting in these things? This guy makes so many suppositions. They're so like, without talking about, really? Come on.
type of person that said, well, I would have been because my stop loss is way down here, I don't believe you. And if
What a fucktard. He doesn't believe me. Well, fuck you. How do you know? Listen, dumb fuck. How do you know I didn't start buying all the way fucking down here and this is at break even right now? What a dumb shit. This guy supposes so much shit he doesn't have a fucking clue. Does he even understand what accumulation distribution is, what a market is? Well, these are specially designed for Forex, these indicators. You don't step away. What are you, Mr. 1978 guy? Step away from the chart there. How dare you? Don't you get what we're doing? This is technical analysis now. Just shut the fuck up.
if for some reason you are, it will not be long until you lose all of your money. If that's
Okay.
how you approach trading. Any sane-minded trader would have been long gone, even way before price is allowed to get this far down. That was a huge loss.
That was a huge loss. What time frame is this he's on? We don't even know. Dude, if that's a 1 hour chart and I'm in, I already know I'd be buying that plunge though. I would have bought at the market. I would have bought at the market. I would have sold at the market. I would have bought at the market. I would have sold at the market. I would have bought at the market. If you just traded binary and you had trade plans for big bars, trade plans for little bars, come on. It's up, you sell, buy. Sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Can't you see how easy that is? Well, the only problem there is that if I sell here, and I buy here, I got to run like 8 pip stops. Now I'm running 20. Now I'm running to 8, 20, 28. Now my target's got to be here. And I should have been able to. He thinks price levels don't matter. He's actually built this whole thing full of bullshit. He's built a story of bullshit. If you can't see this, okay, this is a 3-bar bottom. If we carry that forward, we see the dead cat bounce that happened there. But there was fulfillment. But this vacuum's still pending, right? This one? And as that shears down into this, I wonder why the market went up after it cleared out this price level. Price levels don't work. You're using them price levels again, aren't you? You mean like the banks don't care about the price?
All right, so let's wait for the next long entry, which is this arrow right here. So that is probably this candle right here.
What a dumb fuck. So he's going to get in here. It's probably this case. So he's going to cherry pick the bad trade to force RSI to get butt fucked. Dude, you would have bought RSI down here when it was severely overbought, even without. That ain't oversold, dumb shit. This is oversold. This is oversold. This. What a fucking tard. I can't even. The more I watch this guy, the more pissed off I get.
So this one gave you a whole lot of.
Thanks for making me feel like a winner. All this guy does is reaffirm what a dumb shit he is, and how if you fade this guy, you will clean up. I can't wait till the fucking market's open. I'm on the weekend here all fucking pissed off at this douchebag.
Nothing, and then the very next day, boom, this huge.
By the way, I bought more euro dollar than Jesus as it went into the close there. I'm long into the weekend on the euro, looking for a gap up.
Bozu, short candle, down. Bad news. Again.
The dollar is totally overbought. Okay, so the British pound's oversold, by the way. So is the Australian dollar. But like I say, I trade the tightest, most liquid pair on the planet. I'm driving a Mercedes-Benz. I'm not driving a fucking Volkswagen, okay? That's the Australian dollar.
Nobody would have been left in this long trade. But if you were being lazy and looking at it in hindsight,
Nobody would have been left in this long trade because you bought like a dumb shit right here, right at the floor, right at the price level because it crossed over here. I got in. I like how he's at the edge of the oval. He gets in very light. No more confirmation.
thought you would have said, wow, it was overbought there and price went down. It was oversold here and price went up. But if you're looking at it as an actual trader, even when it works, it just gave you...
What is an actual trader for this guy? I've never seen this cunt put a goddamn trade on yet. Where he says, I got my signal, got in here, got a stop there, I moved my stop, I got out of a little bit, or I just held the whole trade, I trailed a stop, I got stopped out. It's all right, we didn't lose too much. Still got enough money to eat dinner tonight. We're going to come back tomorrow and trade.
4 different losses. How about that? The RSI is one of the few indicators
There's some idiot on the fucking thing. You really opened my eyes. Thanks, buddy.
there that even when it works, it doesn't work.
Even when it works, it doesn't work. Even when she hates me, she loves me.
I'm not mad at you for using it. You have a lot of reasons why.
I'm not mad that you cheated on me with that RSI, but you know what? You're going to have to stop that. You're kind of making more money than me. I don't like that.
Especially starting out.
What are you, one of the popular kids now?
You would have used it.
Must be nice. What'd you do? Lose some weight? Hanging out with the popular kids, I see.
These are perfectly valid reasons if you didn't know any better. But another big reason that I haven't even touched on yet is the RSI is one of the most televised indicators out there. If you're somebody who watches CNBC or Bloomberg, you will, whenever they actually make some desperate attempt to show technical analysis.
A desperate attempt like the ones you do? Hey, this guy doesn't even show technical analysis. He does this blackboard bullshit for half the fucking video. You could die.
You will see this indicator a lot. So Bloomberg mostly does stocks, but this is an example of a chart you would see with them.
Oh my God. It's weird that they plot the RSI on the top. Oh, I'm sorry, it's on the bottom there. But look how they actually stretch it out very beautifully. Now let me show you the reversals in here. They're obvious as shit. More oversold, higher price. More oversold. See the transverse here? Look at more oversold, higher price. And when it gets here, people are buying because it's at a higher price. See how that works? See dumb shit? Here's the divergences that you could have scalped a counter trend trade off of these divergences. Look at this nice divergence. Look, this is the first entry. More oversold, higher price. Look at that fucker go. Jesus. Here's where divergence finally causes this to crumble, but look at the reversals in. People are, and this is a failed reversal here. It's very subtle. You can't see it. Here's where it kind of folds over. Triple because reversal is getting, it just starts, these divergences start to, it's still divergence even though it's kind of like a flat top there, but it's pulling so hard. But then when it goes berserkoid here, I guarantee you to the left, we are more oversold than we are at a price that is higher because this spawns this whole giant move here. And he has 2006 to 2008 kind of like, you know, look at the divergence causing that insane sell-off right now. And the problem is that this looming vacuum underneath, once this thing kicks in, we start to get some, it starts to heat up, right? You can even make the argument for, it just dramatizes the top become a bottom. So breakout, pullback, find support. Breakout, pullback, find support. So if you just come in like this, you see how it's churning north. It's pushing a string.
As you see this weekly RSI below, and then here is another chart. So they do have a habit of using it. And why do they use it? Because it's very easy to see, like we said before. People...
Well, I don't want anything that's easy to see, you know, that's...
who watch these shows usually know
I can't show off my intelligence that way. Look at this divergence. Wow. That divergence. Well, you know, when you went sold here, remember when you told me you sold here and you just was going nowhere and you just, like, you got out, you know. Here's kind of a reversal. See, and it's also a bottom become a top at RSI. Another reason to sell. You just need a reason to trade, that's all.
nothing about technical analysis. And so you need to show them the easiest, dumbest thing you can possibly show them, or else they're not going to understand what you're doing. Now, Bloomberg actually has the decency to put currencies up every once in a while, and they'll use the
Okay, now here you can clearly see the reversals here. This is the he loves this Australian dollar. This, I'm going to say this is a 1 hour chart. Yeah, 60-minute chart. See the reversal? Right? It's obvious now. Besides, you're buying here anyways, right? You're buying this lonely wick entry. Here's another reversal. But it's getting long in the tooth. Besides, you're up against resistance here. Here is your reversal on the downside here. Here's a nothing. Here is a reversal to sell. More overbought. Lower price. It's kind of like Where's Waldo? Or it's like highlights. My parents sent me to the shrink. They had Highlight magazine in the waiting room. So I look at this as like a highlights magazine. See, it's so choppy here, but you still see a faint reversal here. Very faint. Not a great trade. Here's the best example. More overbought. Look left. Lower price. This is a very long-legged signal. You're also at structure, floor. You don't think price levels matter? Here's a nice little divergence into a reversal. Just kind of churning. Not really anything here. Just really noisy, messy. It's all scrunched in. Here's a nice divergence. I'm going to say, well, I don't know about this. Oh, yeah, here you go. Here's a reversal right there. Not really here. It's not moving hard enough and fast enough. I guess here's your early one there, reversal. So it just jumps out at you after a while. You can see it, and then you just look at the price, and you start to, I don't use RSI because it takes up too much real estate, but it clues you into. It also made me think about this top becoming a bottom. I know I have a reversal here, but what's more important is that how am I getting in? If it's limits and the structure level, I'm just going to do that. So I really don't use RSI, even though I can tell you that this guy doesn't understand it. If you like it, you can use it. It does work. It totally works. Here, I'm still playing it back here in the market. So here's another example. Look at this launching pad here. Another reversal. We're going to buy if we're below there. Look how it just keeps going. It's the gift that keeps on giving. I can already tell that these are reversals. Anything that is more oversold than this is like a topping on the bottom, but this I would buy, this I would buy that. Buy. Divergence causes a reversal. Let's look at the price. Let's verify that. Now this is very hard to see here, but if you look at this is technically a reversal. And look how hits the 100-yard line. We get a, not really divergence there, but look at the reversals. Triple, this is all happening above this price that we're referencing that off of, see? Then we look to break this trend line. We go roaring through, screaming up. And 3 period is pretty squirrely, but hey, it definitely gives it to you, doesn't it? Now, I would just typically be selling up here because it's just going nuts up, but we're probably filling some vacuum there. The launching pad is this, you cock the gun, it's oversold just before. Else you could just say, hey, you know what? I only buy oversold when we're in an uptrend. I only trade overbought when we're in a downtrend. Perfectly good rules. 20 EMA with a 3-period RSI, which he's not doing either, so he's forcing it to misperform so he can make his argument. So I do think he's trying to dial in on selling an indicator because what he's saying is completely harebrained. Let's face it.
RSI too, because especially when you shade in these little overbought and oversold levels, they're a lot easier to see and understand than an indicator that actually works. But if you were the type of person that started using the RSI and then saw all these smart people on TV using it too, no wonder you're still using it now. And no wonder you're still...
Yeah, that's what I did. I saw guys on TV doing it, and I just do it now. It's crazy. You can see Sunday night here with this double bar. So I just do what they do on TV.
in the back of your mind trying to argue me on these points. But let's take a look.
Yeah, don't argue with me. This guy, please understand. Okay, here's where we have to back to the blackboard. No more charts for you. I love looking at charts.
At what really happens on these shows.
I love building templates.
For one, they are not technical traders.
Well, that's for sure.
Bloomberg, and especially CNBC, spends pretty much all their time on fundamental analysis because that's what the people who watch those shows want to see. Most of these people, too, are not even traders. Again, they wear nice suits. They have these prestigious jobs.
Which I agree with this guy. Fundamentals are bullshit.
They speak really well. They're not actual traders more often than not. And if they are, they're definitely not Forex traders. You'll see some legit stock traders on there, I'm sure, but actual technical Forex traders almost never exist in this world for some reason. And, again, neither is their audience. The people they are talking to don't know anything about technical analysis. So if you're showing technical analysis to a bunch of people who have no idea what you're talking about, the best thing to show them is something dumb and easy like the RSI. So don't think that just because you see it on TV that it is more valid than anything else out there. They're using it because it's easy. And they're also using it because, again, like all those instructors who actually have studied technical analysis at some point, they don't know any better. They don't know about all the other indicators out there that work much, much better. So let's go ahead.
Is there really an indicator that works better than RSI? Really? I don't think so. If you're going to use an indicator. Look at this, we're getting another reversal. More oversold, higher price. This is if it comes below here and price does not breach this, we buy. We're also going to buy here on a limit, here and here on anyways. So it's just another excuse to trade. If it closes below this, we'll have our first trend. We can draw a trend line there. We have to wait an hour. If they don't fill our buy limit that's sitting at the triple top, now we're in reversal territory. We're still waiting for the end of the hour to pull the trigger. We probably got filled on some limits in this little basement. The big bulls bought everything here. They're underwater by 20 pips. I mean, if you're lying to me if you said you're buying that. No, I'm not lying. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I'm not buying at one price. Never again. Just like the Jews, you know. Never again. No more Dachau. Not one train ride, please. Well, this train only has one stop. And then as you go by the churches, they stop playing. They play louder. Drowned out the people screaming on the train. They're in the RSI train is what they are. Yeah, it's going at... So we bought there. But we bought there anyways because of structure. Now it looks like it's going to go smashing down, to be honest with you. But that's why, you know, when it is over bought, maybe you want to take something off the table. It does look like they're going to smash it to bits here. Nice thing about back testing here on the strategy tester, you can ask yourself, okay, I can see that, but if I bought here, where do I get out? If I bought here, I got to get out here. And if I'm going to sell, I want to sell before we cave into here because I'm looking for this big house cleaning. We've gone too far too fast. Look, they're going to take it down again. So now, and RSI is probably in range rules on a 14, and we're probably starting to breach down. Of course, we do have a divergence probably on the 14 here. Notice this high. Price is higher. You really have to look at this. RSI is lower. On a 8-period RSI or a 5, there'd be clean divergence here. But here it's so spastic that, believe it or not, this still qualifies as a reversal. just by a skosh. It is more oversold at a higher price. Don't forget, we did buy that plunge. We bought at the round, bouncing off this top. We still have dry powder we want to buy all the way down here if we ever get it. It's the 1 hour chart. So for whatever reason, we have to start thinking about taking something off the table on this top, which is 20 pips up. And hopefully it took something there. Because now we are up. The sellers are coming in. Are they going to be able to cave into this? Or are we going to start to retrace, engulf? Is this a triple top? Are we going after yesterday's high? Or today's high? Are we going after today's high tomorrow? Will we be up here by tomorrow, or will we be down here? It just broke out the top of that 2 hour. Kind of trapped people a little bit there. You know, you got a overbought. You can also, you just need an excuse to trade. If we come to here, do we have a top become a bottom? Would people sell there? Is it a trend trade to come down? I wish this would play back faster. If I could go to the 4 hour chart, this is probably an exquisite reversal. I could also make this a 5 period RSI or a 4, kind of tame it down. It may be too extreme. Depends. Depends who you are. How much you can take. So here you can see the divergences are more dramatic. I mean, more obvious, right? The reversal is still there. This reversal is still here. Right, the launching pad. And when I was really heavily in RSI, I would run a 3 period and maybe an 8 on top or 10 on top or something. 13 at the most. And use this as my kind of trigger pull indicator. Yeah, it's in an uptrend. We buy oversold in an uptrend. Plus we have the reversal factor, which is fueling a bigger move. Yeah, pushing a string is really what it seems like to me. Now it looks like we're going to cave down. We're just going to tank. Looks like. Although it's just sitting there. Now I have seen divergence here. Sometimes, not this time, but double bottom. Still holding that area. Boy, this vacuum beneath looks just looming and dooming. So we would have to, RSI would have to go. So this price is our last known support. I think if we fall in the hole, this doji, we could bounce off of that maybe. So I would buy all the way to that. And if RSI is going to be more oversold than here, which is not hard to do, now they're going to crush it. It's more oversold than here, and this is still a higher price, so technically. Okay, so I'm buying on limits this whole plunge. Boom, boom, boom. They're filling me. Boom, boom, boom. Because I could see this coming. I knew this would be a very fast move. I could have sold just before that. No indication from RSI. Maybe on the 15-minute RSI. But you got to be right. You got to be. I said I kind of just don't need that anymore. Because I already know what I want to do. Is I want to buy this whole thing because I love watching them fill my tickets. And I'll scalp to here. And then I'll reload on limits down here. I could have sold for 20 pips into that hole, but I tell you what, after 1 hour straight down, I'm like, oh boy. Now we can start getting some signals in RSI. It's kind of got to go up and down to really give you a so-called setup signal. But funny thing enough is that at this 5 period RSI, we have a bottom become a top. Sellers came in there. We are more oversold still than here. And this is why range rules goes way back deep into the chart. for Cardwell, he's going to put a low here, and he's going to say, you see that low? Anything below that is a buy, because what he's going to say is, now that I have the 5 pair, I got to stretch it out, that this low here is where he's going to draw his trend line off of to get that. It's more oversold at a higher price. See that? That's what Cardwell's doing. He's indexing it this far back and saying, oh, look at this. It's still a buy. Oh, here's our first reversal, though, to sell. We just got it. Whether it works out or not, hard to say, but this would be it, right? You're selling here. Your target is based off of this. You find the lowest close within there, and you do the same angle line, which I'm not doing. It's like this. But you may overshoot that. It's throwing me off as these other lines the robot's throwing in there. So it's getting all kind of choppy here. We did make our scalp, though. We bought this plunge, and we dumped into the floor. A lot of people sold there, too, also. So a lot of these things, we have buy limits here now. Oh, this one got filled, but we got these still pending all week long. Also, I'm going to buy here. If I'm long, I definitely want to start cashing out into this hole on top. So it's just back and forth, up and down. If this is where I draw the trend line, if it breaks this trend line, this reversal has been negated. It made a few pips. It ain't making targets. We got to look at the big picture. It's still in an uptrend technically until we, oh boy, we'd have to take this out and just go screaming south. But then, of course, then it's happening. You know, we want to get in before it happens. We want to get positioned before the move. So they just broke this trend line here. And for RSI purposes, we could have drawn a trend line. We could have drawn a trend line like this and said we're getting in a break of that trend line, and we would be like, we're right about that trade. Just like no nonsense for us. We were right about that trade. Then we held through the pullback. Then we bought more. We're naturally going to sell here or cash out of our longs. We could be getting a, well, I don't see one yet, but off of this, we could get a reversal. If we are more overbought than this, then we would be more overbought. And it would look like this and that, right? So we could make the argument to sell. You just need a reason to trade, really. And here you have 2 5-period signals, and you don't overtrade too much. If you keep it the rules strict, you know. So let's go back to the total nonsense.
Go ahead and touch on the last reason that I will bet is one of the reasons why you still use the RSI, and that's because you've had some success with it before. And I went over this in the Big Banks video too. It's called blackjack theory or Vegas theory. If you were to go up to a blackjack table for the first time, and on the very first hand, you would have actually gotten a blackjack and gotten that 2-to-1 or 6-to-5 payoff, you know, whatever they do. That feeling is so intense that you would allow yourself to lose the next 5 to 10 hands before ever even thinking to yourself, okay, maybe this isn't the right game for me. And God forbid, in the next 10 hands after that, if you were to actually win 3 or 4 of them, well then, they got you. You'll sit there and lose all your money and take it all the way down to zero.
Bankers got me by the balls.
Realizing what's really
the bankers keep tricking me. They keep running stops and everything on me.
Going on here. And the same can be said for the RSI. The big banks will give you a win with these things sometimes, because if they didn't, then you're just going to quit. But if they just give you a win here and there, it is enough.
I ain't a quitter, son. I just keep putting orders in there.
For you to hang on to this thing, because the thrill of winning is so strong that it
I do like winning, I must tell you.
Overrides any of the losses you might have in the future. But if you were to just do this, if you were to just make a separate demo account and do nothing but trade with the RSI and nothing else.
Hey, maybe I should do that. I could show him how full of shit he is.
And track those wins and losses.
I should do that. Let me put up about 16 pairs, and I'll do daily RSI setups. Look at this reversal. Holy shit, look at this divergence. Holy shit. Can't believe how good it works. I just trade without stops. I'm so confident in it. I just trade without stops on it.
Losses for 2 months and see where
I
you
trade with a 200 pip stop.
actually were. I bet it's going to paint a really sobering picture. But most people don't have the discipline to go out and do something like that and to test things that way. They're so stuck in the...
Well, it's not discipline. It's a lot of effort, too. It's a lot of work, man. To set up a demo and to prove a point, you know. That's... I wish this guy would do that. I wish he'd put up a demo and go, I'm running my algo. Check this shit out.
Euphoria of those times where it actually works. They will ignore the times when it doesn't, and when they look at their account at the end of the year, it is way down. So let's transition out of the reasons why you probably use it, and I'll just tell you the reasons why I don't like it. Don't forget the earlier slide, the Dirty Dozen slide. A lot of times this was a reason enough for most people.
He's just going to come back to this 1978 shit. He can't get over it.
Say, oh, wow, what am I doing? Yeah, I need to move on to something different. There are clearly better options out there.
Get your teeth whitened first before you trade.
Just say that did not convince you. The RSI does not even do a good job at what it is supposed to do. Remember that example I showed you before where I was trying to show you how well it worked, and it ended up being a complete calamity to your trading account. Often, even when...
Because you overmanaged the trade. You made up a story that you...
looks like it works, it doesn't work. And on top of this, it was created for stock trading. I actually know some professional stock traders, many of which will actually use a combination of technical analysis and fundamental analysis because that's what you're supposed to do in stock trading. And none of them use the RSI. Some of them did, but as soon as they were introduced to better options, they got rid of the RSI right away. It did not take long. Sometimes it's just a matter of being shown a better option, which we here on No Nonsense Forex are going to do. So if you haven't subscribed, by now subscribe because you're going to want to see this.
80,000 people have decided that this guy, he knows what he's talking about.
Now there is a counter argument to this, and it is an argument I have a really big problem with. They say, well, the RSI does work really well in range-bound markets. In trends, it doesn't work at all. You get murdered. But in range-bound markets, it actually works well. So what do I mean by that if you don't understand what that means? So when price consolidates and falls into the...
If you don't understand what a range-bound market is, then maybe we do have a problem. Like if he's got to explain that. What do you mean range-bound?
This little range right here. And when we say a range, it pretty much means it's hitting a line here and a line here.
Where does he find these fucking examples? Let's not forget this range bound. This bottom becomes a top. This is the pivot. Right? Here's the pivot. He gets this shit from the internet. And look how this is the other... there's a range inside the range. It's crazy. And then the wicks probably pop up here. We don't even see that. I did a video like this called Markets where I show all these harebrained shit on the internet. There's a breakout. What about all the fake breakouts on the wicks where I got trapped? You forgot to show that part. This is a trading range. Well, so is this, right? If all we saw was this is a trading range, then it keeps ranging, then it keeps ranging. Then I do more coke so I can work harder so I can do more coke.
And when it does that, people want to convince you that now this market is very easy to trade because it's going to bounce off here. And if you're using the RSI, it's going to give you a really nice short...
Well, 80% of the market's ranging, but this guy doesn't trade ranges or reversals, so...
signal. And when it comes here, it's going to give you a really nice long signal. Here is the problem I have with this. Guys,
my IQ is so low that I just can't get my brain around any fucking trades, and I don't trade, and I just don't even know why I'm on this channel.
You don't know when a range is coming. It'd be so awesome if we did. If we were just able to pick out some random point on a chart and be like,
we're in a range. We're always in a range of some degree. We're always in a range of some degree. 1 minute chart is ranging. The monthly is ranging. We're in a range. We're in an area somewhere in time. Right now, unless a market is literally making yearly highs every millisecond coming into Sunday, we're in range.
Like, hey, okay, consolidation is just around the corner. Get all your range trading tools out. We're going to make a lot of money. But it doesn't happen that way. You only know it when it's too late. Once you see a range actually forming, it is...
Well, we assume we're in a range, dumb shit. How does this guy miss this shit? If the market's screaming up or down, it could be inside of a range. Context is everything, isn't it? What does he assume that we're all so fucking stupid?
Is probably about to end. I love people who show trend lines and support and resistance lines. Like, look how many times this thing has hit this line. By the time it has done that, it is almost over. So
you trade that, you dumb shit. You trade that. You trade support and resistance.
So understand, this is not an actual chart. This is just a drawing. So how many times did this hit? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times. You almost never, ever see that. And if you do, it is only a matter of time before price breaks out of that range and starts trending. And if you're trading a, quote, range-bound market, you are going to get smashed, because when price does trend and you're trying to use these reversal indicators, you get absolutely destroyed. Go watch that reversal.
20% of the time you'll be destroyed. 80% of the time you'll make money. And when it goes into a trend mode, this is when it ranges on a smaller time frame. And if you trade breakouts, or you trade the continuation trade, or you trade reversals, or you just turtle trade it, if you just turtle traded it, right? You just kept buying new highs. Once it starts to trend, you're making money because you keep buying high and selling higher. As it goes up, it just keep on going with the flow. But that would mean that you have a trade plan like that that you can engage into a trending market, which this guy has no trade plan for a trending market. And I defy anybody to show it to me. He can't even show it. The people that are getting behind this guy and saying he's great, let me see you describe an entry. This guy to date he's not even saying how he got in and how big it was and did he get out, and he's trying to make it sound like RSI. His trading sucks to begin with. Forget what indicator he's using. Every indicator he uses, he trades like shit with.
Reversals video. If you ever want to know why a price trends as long as it does sometimes, it's because there are an endless supply of reversal traders with their stochastics and their RSI trying to call reversals. And
that's not why. You mean to tell me that all the whole impact of gooberism, of the goober state, is what's driving the market? Because they're all sitting there going, well, there's divergence here. No. Unbelievable.
As long as those people outnumber the people who are actually following the trend, price is going to keep going. And these poor reversal traders just get smoked over and over and over again. Any money
well, then
they
why
make...
don't you fade them, you dumb shit? Why, if that was true, then why don't you just go against them? When it's overbought, you should buy. When it's oversold, you should sell. It's just you can't make that argument. It's more nuanced than that. You just can't say, well, look, let's fade those guys.
When price was consolidating is erased immediately, and then the losses start happening. So let's go ahead and go to my charts, and I will show you not cherry-picked examples, but actually real world right now.
24 fucking minutes into this thing, we're finally going to see something. When price trends, you get killed. It works in range-bound markets. No, dude, it works in trending markets. You just don't know what you're looking at, that's all.
Examples of how this thing just completely falls apart. So here is what I've done. Let's go ahead and push this forward just a bit. This is, well, let's put it back. Even this right
See, he should put a line chart up. If you put a line chart up, dude, he doesn't even have a candlestick chart, so I got to hunt down the hash mark here and try to find the closing price. What a douche. So he's going to make RSI look like shit because we can't see the closing prices, so we have to really struggle to see the signals here. And this is what Cardwell did and drove me nuts. I'm like, why in the fuck would you use a bar chart with RSI?
Right here is about
Look at this reversal here. Wow, look at this fucker. That's the first one that jumps out at me. Comes back to support. We get divergence causing a reversal. Oh, I can see the hash marks. Look at this divergence. Another reversal entry here. Gorgeous. Beautiful. I can't tell here, but kind of. So we get divergence, giving us the buy. We got a nice divergence here to kick the whole thing off. Our first reversals here. Look at this beautiful sell here. I could go on and on. Well, this is just stuff that jumps out at me. Nice divergence down here. Here's another reversal more overbought, lower price. Break a trend line. I think this is not a reversal here, but let's see, it's hard to tell. He doesn't have the line chart up, so it's hard to really sift through that. I'm going to say I don't like the 14. It's just not dynamic enough. This is the daily euro dollar, so also he's kind of, if he was in the 4-hour chart, there'd be a lot of trades. If you do a strict interpretation of RSI, yeah, there's not a lot of trades on here on the daily. There's really not, but this one here is probably the most delicious looking one, even though it's not a, this is a long-legged one. This is tight. This is a good one here. But once again, it's about selling these new highs, being able to have the balls to put the sell limits up here, have the balls to put buy limits here, and buy this plunge. And yeah, you don't make it back to here, and you have to know, okay, you have to have some foresight knowing that this is an issue that needs to be resolved. And once that thing cuts in, look at that. Jesus Christ. The turtle traders just clean up on that. Here's your reversal. See that? Here's where you sell. The only reversal, and it's right here, see? This is more overbought at a lower price. And then, wow, the house cleaning that comes. Even this is a reversal, see? See, when you draw a trend line here, you see this reversal coincides with that. So you have that. Okay, so on the chart, it's kind of hard to see. That, or no, maybe it's this. I'm sorry, it's this. That's not the reversal here, but there probably is on the R. But here, this is that to that. Another sell. Now we get divergence, and then this is kind of the last place to sell. It's all drifty, and he would say, well, who's going to hang through all this? Well, who's even on this goddamn daily chart, for God's sakes?
1 year's worth of data on the most popular traded currency pair by far. And
it doesn't get any better than this for me. The euro dollar with, I don't agree with the 14-period RSI. And plus, you could stretch that out a little bit, and you could use closing prices.
We're on the daily chart, which is the time frame that everybody should be trading. If you did,
everybody should be trading that, and the popular folks too can trade that. So here's another inversion of logic, psycho insanity, where it's okay to be the popular kid here now, and they
didn't already know that. That was a podcast episode. I'll link that down below too. But I went ahead and put the RSI down below on the default setting that almost everybody uses. And let's go ahead and see on the world's biggest stage, not some cherry-picked example, on the most popular example I could possibly give you. Let's see how well this thing
I hope
works.
I didn't cherry pick it too much. The reversals for you there. The divergences are what I used to trade a lot, and those do work out here. Let me just cherry pick those for you. Kind of a triple divergence here. Here, a nice reaction there. But of course, that sets you up for, like I say, the 14. I really can't see a reversal. I do see a bottom become a top. So if my pivot in RSI is right down the middle here, this top becomes a bottom later on. That's an excuse to trade. You need an excuse to trade.
Now, it didn't give you
Market's open, my excuse.
any signals for a while, and then finally gave you a little one right there. So,
oh my God, he's going to pick this as his overbought, and he's going to claim he got killed on this. What a dumb shit. So he's gonna ignore this beautiful divergence here with this just completely insane sell-off, and there is a, God, I just can't see it on the daily.
let's go ahead.
On the 14, on an 8 period or a 5 period RSI, there's so many reversals in here.
Cursor and see how well that would have done. Now it wants you to go short right here on this candle here. Now,
of course, he's saying that you're gonna close below the overbought line.
very next candle shot up about 70 pips. If you would have stayed in that,
What a dumb shit. It's show up 70, dude. You're on the daily chart, and there's the divergence. That's not even a buy. That's a sell. That's a divergence. I can't zoom in because he's fucking lying. It's CNN trades the fucking Forex is what this fucking is. This guy is such an asshole. Okay, let me help him out. You see this double top in RSI right here? What a fucking idiot. He's calling this rollover. Well, it went shot up like 70 pips. Yeah, because you fucking bought the goddamn, you sold the down candle, you dumb fuck. Then there's a beautiful 2 period divergence there that causes a fucking setup for the buy. Look at this 2 period divergence up here, I think. Here's your divergence. Look at that fucking sell off into another buy. It's range trading in an angle.
so
This guy's an asshole.
let's
What a
go ahead
fucking
and pull the
idiot.
Cursor and see how well that would have done.
He cherry picks the I bet down here, I bet he was going to, I can already see the next thing. Well, what we did here is we went long here at the crossover. How'd that work out for you, buddy? I can already see it coming. Because he's doing this dotted line shit at 70, 80 with a 14. Well, it's what everybody's using, the popular kids.
Now it wants you to go short right here.
It wants you to.
On this
Fuck
candle
what it
here.
wants.
Very next candle shot up about 70 pips. If you would have stayed in that trade, you're telling me your stop
I
loss
lost
is
$7.
more up here. So by the time it actually did give you some profit, it didn't even give you 100 pips worth of profit on the daily chart.
Because you got in at the fucking down bar, dumb shit.
Chances are, like I said before, if your
Why
stop
did you sell overbought?
loss is up here, your take profit is down here somewhere, and you did not profit on this trade. And if you didn't,
What a lying asshole.
look out, because
Who
price
is this
shot
asshole?
back up right
Well,
after.
look out, because but, you know, this guy doesn't even fucking really realize that this is more oversold than this, and this is still oversold. So is this. In other words, when you're in the 14 period, dude, this is a buy. This is a buy. It's oversold. This is a buy. This is a buy. If it's down, you're buying. Buy. Get it? Sell. It's overbought. You sell. It's overbought. You sell. It's oversold. You buy. Plus, you got a reversal. He should have. He's just a fucking newbie. possibly?
Afterwards. Now let's look here. We
What
are
an
now
asshole.
in overbought territory, and you have a signal here.
That's not a signal, fuckhead. And you saw it here. He's going to call every crossover here and claim he got stopped out.
Check that one out. That would have come on this candle right here.
You would have sold the bottom of that candle. What a fucking idiot.
The RSI is telling you to go short right on this bar.
No, it's not.
And you didn't make anything. you made 14 pips on the daily chart. Immediately, this thing shot way up again. That would have been a tremendous loss depending on where your stop loss was. Now the next one. This one.
And this is the most popular pair. You know, this is the euro dollar. The bankers are looking at this 14. They're going, how can we burn these fuckers? I wonder if the rally has anything to do with this. Why is this day up so hard into here? Oh, I don't know. Explain it to me. Then they come back. The scalpers can't even get it back to here. Then it goes up again in the new shelling area. I wonder why it pulled back to here. I wonder if this is a range. Do you think we could trade that for the next 2 months, 3 months? Like, how is this guy? He's waiting for this fucking move, and he's going to tell me, well, see there, this range in here, what you did is you got all trapped in there trying to ride this, and you just chewed up the account. Or the other argument is that you try to catch a trend here, and you got all I could blow apart his range bullshit that you're looking for a trend, and it just keeps chopping you. And when the trend finally shows up, you can get no money in your account. Oh, wah, wah, wah. Maybe this is distribution in a longer term picture. Maybe we should buy below here. Maybe we should buy below here. Oh, gee, I don't know why the market would go up after it went down and made a new low. Is there any dead cat bounces we could trade in here? I wonder if this bottom was a top. Oh, levels don't matter. Oh, gee, I wonder if this is support. I wonder if it's ranging. It's always ranging, dumb shit. He's so stupid. He didn't even range trade that. Range trade everything. Everything's a range trade. You would have bought down here because this is ranging up here in this area. It's always ranging, fuckhead. Even when it's going down here, it's ranging on the way down. You're always in a range. This guy's a criminal. He's a criminal of logic. He's raping the logic out of people's minds one video at a time. This guy should be fucking... I'm going to report him to YouTube for fucking mental abuse. It's trading abuse. What this guy's doing is just fucking... It's immoral. He's an immoral analyst. Does he really think... His confirmation of entry is if the market goes down, he's selling. That's his first mistake. Well, I want to make sure. I want to make sure it's going down before I sell. What do I look like, a fucking idiot? I'm not a popular kid.
It's hard to say. I'm going to be nice and give this one a pass because it's so borderline. But your next one was here, and I think this one actually worked. Let me see. You guys want to zoom in? I think it might be better if we just zoom in on this.
Oh, God, thank Jesus. Holy shit. Oh, my God. Now we can see the fucking shit. What's going on here, finally? Ugh. So on the daily chart here, you really need a line chart to do it, but let's see if you can call this trade out. He's going to get in at the bottom. He's going to get in at the lowest bar. He's going to go short low. He's going to sell low.
So you can see this a little better. This one told you to enter, was it this candle? No, it was this candle here. So this one did go down some. And you probably made a little bit there. You didn't make a lot. But there was definitely room
Does he really think that the 14-period RSI on any fucking currency pair is going to be tradable? Do you know how hard these markets have to go? And they can go way past this 70 or 80, whatever he's got marked here. What an idiot.
To take some profit there. But it didn't give you that nice trend that you were wanting.
Nice trend? There's no trend. It's ranging. It's ranging here. And look how he fucking blew this up. Look at this beautiful 2-period divergence right there. Oh my God. Which causes more oversold. Yeah, range matters. And then you have this beautiful buy. More oversold, higher price. Look at this failure swing. More divergence. More divergence. This is what it's like. You know, this is your brain on stupidity. Reversal. Kind of divergence. Can't fix stupid people.
Reversal. It came up back up pretty quick. So if you took half off down here, half is all you got because this thing shot right back up.
You took half off. Wow. Mr. Scaling, Mr. Money Management there. How about you took the whole fucking thing off because you knew what price levels. You knew this was a previous top becoming a bottom. You knew once they backfilled into this. You knew this was a narrow range. Time to get into a breakout strategy. Breakout strategy, narrow range. Breakout strategies here. A daily chart, you know, top becomes a bottom on there. Kind of drifty, but this is one Kanahora move, isn't it? Wow. We get the dead cat bounce in this little notch. Isn't that how that rolls?
So in this little cluster of shorts it gave you, there were some really bad losses and one medium-sized win, maybe. And that was it.
Does this guy really think that indicators are like this? Like, you look for some fucking criteria like that. Now, what he could have done is faded the goobers. Why doesn't he just, if this is such a stupid indicator, why doesn't he just fade it? He gets this signal and he buys.
Let's move over.
In other words, why doesn't he go against his dumb shit entry? He crossed over, so he buys here. He doesn't sell there. Then he buys here. What he's saying is not, you know, he's lying because he would just say, well, dude, just put it up and fade it.
Over to here, where now you're getting long signals. This was technically one.
You should have sold
it. Got
it
up there. You can see on that little tag here, the RSI is 30.94. So it did close above that. That would have given you a long signal. Let's see how that did. I don't think it's too hard to recognize that that did nothing but go short. You went long. Price did nothing but go short. That was really bad. Really bad. Let's look at the next one. On that little retracement, it gave you another long entry. Where was it? Right here. All right. Well, how many pips were you wanting on the daily chart? Hopefully you're wanting more than 80, 87. You might have taken a little bit of profit there, but for the most part, you got no trend that you wanted, and you got nothing but futility all the way down again.
This guy wants a trend. No trend that you like. This is a reversal that's going to turn around a panacea. RSI is going to give you an entrance for a reversal, and it's just going to start trending, and it'll never look back. I don't think anybody's ever said RSI. I don't know what people do say about RSI. I understand it's a relative strength index. The math's pretty simple, what it's telling you. But that it's going to tell you this giant reversal. I mean, I don't know. It's just going to keep trending?
And this thing just keeps on killing you. How about this one? This one was actually good. This was the win. This is the win.
Of course, he bought after it went up.
they use to keep you in the game, because this one from the start,
They did that to keep you in the game. They're tricking you. What they do is they see RSI is coming out of the Bilderberger group there. I mean, does he really think that, well, they're going to, what the big banks are going to make the market rally because they know how it's going to affect the RSI, and they can see that we're below the 70s, so they're going to all step in, Citibank, JP Morgan. They're going to jump in the euro that day and see if they can't bump. They're going to call each other on the phone and go, are you ready to make this RSI go up and trick all the retail guys? You bet. Okay, well, let's just give them a little bit of hope here and just run it up, and then they'll see, well, they'll all jump aboard and then we'll trap them. Oh, don't forget this structure issue that he denies to look at, this bottom becoming a top. Oh, gee, I wonder if support and resistance works. No, it doesn't work for this guy. This signal-based dumb shit waiting for the idiot lights on his car to tell him it's time to change the oil.
did you well. It didn't do you great. Like I said, you want, on the daily chart, you were hoping to gain more than 150 pips max. But it did give you a win. And then over here, it is yet to be seen. But let's zoom back out. After all that, all those entries, you had 2 little medium wins and a bunch of losses on the world's biggest Forex stage.
The world's biggest Forex stage. Welcome. Welcome. In this corner, we have Ready to Rumble. Really? The biggest Forex stage? Well, that's what I'm trading. I guess I'm on the big stage. Madison Square Garden. Scalping at Madison Square Garden. I'm a popular kid.
On one of the most commonly used indicators on Earth.
And just because he doesn't know how to use it, and he should go to the 4-hour chart, or he should maybe tighten it up a little bit. 3-period RSI. Maybe, huh?
Terrible. And this is a currency pair that not only trended, but did, quote, range too. Actually, I don't even know if
I think you know where my signals would be on the RSI. I hope this isn't too inside baseball, but, you know, I would see reversals where I don't see it here. But I guarantee you these are premium reversals on the 3-period RSI because it's going to be more overbought at a lower price. Our divergences are going to be, here's a divergence, right? Into a sell. Don't forget the long-legged stuff here still exists that he's denied. I can't say this is at a lower price. This is more overbought. Technically speaking, that is more overbought than here. So I'm going to hang it off of this for the sell. And so, but then of course, this reversal here, which is what starts the whole party, which is pretty amazing. Slightly higher price and definitely oversold. It doesn't have to come down to this dotted line bullshit. It's momentum. It's not, in other words, the fact that the most popular currency was able to make it above the 70 here. Okay, but don't forget there's people that sold up there and they came and they got out here. Like they sold into that above the dotted line. They had wider stops than this guy. And we still haven't figured out what his stops are. Apparently it's not 2% of the account. He has this kind of like, well, we're trying to make 70 pips. And
Can you really consider that a range? There's your top. There's the bottom. It didn't really touch anything. So yeah, a lot of people would...
Another fucking lie. Because you marked this fucking lonely wick and this lonely wick and you're going to tell me, well, it's not, it's not coming to the support and resistance. You really don't think there's a support and resistance inside the support and resistance? You don't think during this fucking 8-day period this wasn't ranging? Come on, man. What a fucking pig. What a fucking cunt liar.
Call this a range. It's not even a range. And
go fuck yourself. That's a fucking range like this is. This is a range. This is a range. Okay, oh, this is maybe a trend, but it ranges. This is a range. Then, oh, is this the trend? Where's the trend? Is this the trend? Fuck this guy. I'm going to make the worst comment on this video. How many characters am I allowed? I'm going to type something out vicious and tell this guy he's got his head buried so far up his ass, but he does this. He's a flat earther. He knows he's lying. He knows he's pissing me off. He's a flat earther. Look at this bottom become a top.
There's no
here.
money to be made.
It's golden. It's golden. There's no money to be made here. Not from your standpoint, you fucking tard.
Here. When it comes time to actually prove it, this thing just completely falls. Really consider that a range? There's your top. There's the bottom. It didn't really touch anything. So yeah, a lot of people would call this a range. It's not even a range. And there is no money to be made here. When it comes time to actually prove it, this thing just completely falls apart.
There's no money to be made here. Okay, let's take a look at the RSI during this phase. Everything from here over to here, right? Okay, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell. Now that's just trading at the market, like literally just buy, sell, buy, sell. And there's plenty of shit in here, dude. And if you understood the auction thing, you can see this auction. There's all these auctions going on up here. And not to mention the giant fucking auction, which is we're trapped above. We're distributing. This distribution phase, dude. This is real shit. If you think this isn't like, you don't think stocks can do this shit? You don't think that Microsoft Computer, look at the tech, look at the NASDAQ tech rack. Come on. This guy's just fucking, he's just pulling in goobers. That's why he has so many subscribers, and this guy's a sick puppy.
All right, we'll move on.
Dishonest asshole.
So, I mean, have I given you enough evidence at this point? I mean, in conclusion,
No.
It's real simple.
No, you're an asshole.
Don't use the RSI ever.
Fuck you.
I mean, the good news is there are much, much better options out there, and we're going to be talking about them over time. And I'm going to bet you're going to want to know what those are. And
Go
the best
fuck yourself. God damn this asshole.
way to find out is to subscribe to this channel.
Fuck you.
I mean, I have given you...
What a piece of shit. What a fucking cunt. This guy has the balls. I'm a VP of a prop house. A prop house of what? Stupidity? Well, we manage stupidity here all 24/7.
so much evidence of why this thing is terrible, and every other YouTube channel out there and Twitter handle that actually uses this thing is not doing that. They're showing you why it is a good idea to use the RSI. And then you wonder why
Let me see those Twitter channels, because this guy is making like even the worser argument.
end up like the 99%. This channel
You're like a 99%er. Look at you. We're a 1% club. We're motorcycle guys. On the weekend, we're at 0.5%.
has not been around very long, and I have already changed traders' results instantaneously. Simply
Well,
by
people that trade like fucking you. But dude, really fade it then. If it's that bad, fade it.
getting rid of something they're already using that isn't working. Just imagine how far along you're going to be when this is all said and done.
Now, I guess there are people telling me that this guy helped their trading, but maybe they were okay. If you're lost on the side of the road and a serial killer picks you up, but he doesn't kill you because like you're not his type. Okay. Right? You got to ride.
But you're not going to get there with these other YouTube channels and these Twitter feeds that are showing you the same dumb garbage over and over again. There's no way. You're going to be in that 99% your whole life. And that's not why you got into Forex trading in the first place. If you want to really get there, click on the links below on some of my other videos and start changing the way you think about everything. Get into that 0.1% mentality. And in return, I will make sure that every single...
Okay, the 1% mentality is good, but this Dirty Dozen and the ATR that's a 14-period ATR...
video I make from here on out is designed to get you that much closer and closer to getting out of that 99% and getting...
Are you that big a loser? I mean, I'm every time I put on a trade, in some degree I'm a loser, so should I just stop trading? I mean, who's not having some kind of problem? So here's why I guess he has all these subscribers, because people are always somebody wants better, right? How can I get a hotter looking piece of ass, right? I mean, my girlfriend used to buy Cosmopolitan magazine, and I bring it home and I'm like, this is just like soft porn. What the fuck's going on in here? Like, how to have 45 orgasms. What? I'm lucky to have, I'm lucky to get the girl to even notice that I'm in the room. What do I need 45 fucking orgasms? Does she have time to make dinner?
Into that 0.1% for good. I will see you on the podcast.
How to keep your man from trading for RSI. This guy needs to be arrested.
See you in the next video as well. All right, guys, go get it.
Go get it. I've never been so offended in my life. This guy needs to be. Somebody must put a stop to this. Here we go. Sort by. I'm going to do the comments. Newest first, sort by. So wouldn't you just use the indicators to find out what a popular move is and then trade the opposite? Yes, this is the obvious question. Bingo. Yes, bingo. I say bingo to that. I'll say bingo. This guy's a moron. How about that? I like moron. Say this guy. Guys. I want to say imbecile, but I think moron's worse. Bingo, this guy's a moron. Next problem. Great content. Thank you for your service. What is he, guy in the military now? Not the worst, but definitely not a standalone entry or exit indicator. I don't think anything's standalone. Your videos are a big slap in my face. Thank you for waking us up. Yeah, we were just like all misled by that overbought, oversold thing. You cleared that up for me. VP, I respect you. I respect the content. You double respect. I respect the content you publish. It's different, but you're wrong about this RSI, my friend. Bingo. Somebody finally figured it out. Explain, because I have first-hand experience with RSI. Stochastic doesn't work. You don't know how to use it, son. What could I possibly say here? I'm going to have to go through and answer this shit later. I would say to this guy, I have first-hand experience with RSI. Stochastics, I would say, yeah, you're right. RSI works. Taking a trade based on solely off RSI alone is a terrible idea, period. You may be able to find a way to use it as a sort of filter for trades in combination and other facets. That's true. Oh, this guy likes it. Back testing. Because he used to. I no longer use RSI. Yeah, well. I don't use it either, but it's not saying it doesn't work. You know, I don't use a lot of things that work. Clearly, I don't know how to use RSI. Yeah, I could see what he's talking about. Now that I have tested these, the RSI is really bad with consistent trades. Now, that is totally depending on your stop loss, what time frame, on and on. What's your criteria? It's more complicated than just the dotted line entries. Any line graph indicator, dual or signal based on nothing but individual pip movement would be the most simple and effective as long as it's accurately measured the pip movement and exactly the movement occurs. The moment the movement occurs. Yes, I guess so. I agree with that, even though I don't understand what he just said. I agree totally. Hey, guys, let's discuss all together at Telegram group. Okay, I'm up. Oh, look, he's got a no-nonsense Forex chat. Look at this guy in the military. I was having a heck of a time finding a zero cross indicator to work with the strategy. I love that zero cross shit. Well, that's my filter. Cross zero line, I get in. took your advice about playing with an indicator settings in the RSI 50/50. Works great as a zero line that complements. Yeah, see, there you go. That is a classic. Cross the 50 line in RSI, go long. At least you're getting in a trend trade kind of a thing there. But, all this criteria has to have a trade plan. VP nails it on this indicator. The RSI sucks for Forex because the assumption that Forex is range bound enough to look at relatively overbought, oversold levels to trade dangerously false. In other words, trading with the RSI in Forex is a death sentence. Even though it may work very well with your favorite airline stock or whatever. What I find interesting, although, is that because RSI effectively attempts to turn anything, it is applied to, oh God, read more, to an oscillator. The RSI can be a powerful indicator to use with other indicators like powerful, me strong, powerful ATR indicator, for instance. If an indicator tends to be range bound, like the ATR, how can ATR be range bound? That means the market's really quiet. It can be like you're going to do a range bound on ATR. Yeah, my ATR's range bound. So is my Renko. They're all range bound. It's crazy. It can be very useful to visualize at a glance at a relative strength of the ATR. Well, there you go. Let's put a moving average on, which Cardwell does, which I don't agree with. In other words, people start to fuck this shit up. We'll put a moving average crossover system on top of RSI. Oh God, what could possibly be more confusing? Relative strength of ATR. Is ATR relatively high right now, or is it relatively low? Is volume relatively high right now, or relatively low? And honestly, what would this mean? Hopefully your trade plan's adjusting to these factors. These are important questions that RSI can answer if you apply it to the right indicator. Like VP says, do not apply it directly to your favorite Forex pair. So as long as you make a derivative of it, don't apply it directly to the skin. Test on a small area. That's what he used to say when you go to wax a car, you buy some magical shit that costs a ton, and they'd say, test on a small area. Yeah, back test. After watching your videos, I started to feel pity for those smart people wearing nice suits and predicting the market using the dirty dozen. Keep up the good work, champ. Wow. This idea that people, I pity the fool that use RSI and wearing a suit, all dressed up pretty on TV talking about it. Buddy, this is not how you use the RSI. This is how most people use it. Oh my God, of course. It doesn't mean that it's bad. I use it in combination with Elliott Wave and have 80% win rate. It has nothing to do with overbought and oversold there. Actually, remove the horizontal levels, and this is the only indicator that I use. Yes. Now here comes okay, so he goes, I know you mean well, but he's going to talk again. I know you mean well, but the title is actually misforming people. I suggest you remove it, change it to the title, something more sensible. No, it's clickbait, buddy. That's clickbait. I think they call it clickbait. Right? It's clickbait. Clickbait, and we're all here watching. We're all watching. We're watching the clickbait of it all. Let's see what else. You showed a perfect example that the RSI is working perfectly if you concentrate on divergence. He doesn't talk about divergence. Do you think that it's an acceptable divergence indicator? I've been consistently winning using it for divergence, but I don't want to dig myself into a grave. I just never had success with trading divergence of any type. Huh. Wow, he teed that up. I should reply to him later. Yeah, because you're a dumb shit. Every video I see gives more understanding. What an eye-opener. God. I always go to these people's channels. They usually don't have any content, or they're subscribing to some stupid shit. I don't know. I promise to put the RSI in the garbage and continue watching to figure out better things to use. So he's going to watch on to the end of the episode, the last episode. Where does this thing end? RSI is terrible. I couldn't agree more. However, there's one useful thing about it. It shows divergence. No shit. That's because it's one of the best indicators. That's right. RSI is the most search results because it's the best indicator you can use. It's probably the most misused indicator as well. Another misused indicator is Bollinger Bands. That's helpful when understanding. Yes. Yes. Yes, he fucks it up. I'll answer him later. It fucks it up. He fucks it up. He used it as a trend indicator. I like to mention his ranges. Range around the corner, guys. Get your range tools out. That's right, man. Learn how to range trade. Ha. I should have said that in the video. Huh. You could have said a lot of things, but you just really are so fucking, you're either lying or you're dumb. We'll say you're dumb. To be polite, we'll say you're a fucking idiot. So there's my RSI rant. You can research RSI for yourself if you want. Well, I mean, I already did, and like I said, I just trade price. I like them. I like to buy the goober stops. I like to fade the. I like to go against. I like to go against the trend. I mean, I like to trade what I see. If I have to counter trend trade it, I would. If I have to trend trade it, I will do that. I just do what the market tells me to do. The trick is to get the trade plan that you feel comfortable with so that you can just proceed trading and not actually think about it as any kind of risk. It's not risky. I mean, if you can afford to do it, if you can afford the commissions, you can afford to go through the drama of, turning the computer on and all these things and all the work associated with, you don't mind it. I mean, if you play electric guitar, I'd rather play acoustic if I'm lazy because I can just pick it up and play it. I don't have to plug it in. I've got all sorts of effects, but then you have to put the effect on. You got to edit it. Do I like the way it sounds? Is it too harsh? Is it too much? Is it too little? I think these indicators are like effects in a way. Special effects to help you. Yeah, it's a filter. But I don't know. I think the no-nonsense Forex guy is just presenting a false, what do they call it, straw man or something like that. Anyways, good luck with that RSI. 3 hours and 40 minutes of bitching about RSI.